Scotland's a wild and lovely place.
But there's a change we must embrace.
Scotland's water's world class.
No doubt.
So, take a refillable bottle.
When you go out.
It's your water, your life.
Top up from the tap with Scottish Water.
Fresh, cool, clear.
And only available right here.
So, good morning everybody. It's Sunday morning, final day of the Scottish National Age Group Championships 2022. And we're looking forward to some more exciting racing. It's Lynn Alderton here, and I'm sitting with Duncan McKinnell.
Morning, Lynn.
Morning, Duncan.
Happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter. And I think we've got some nice little chicks here to celebrate. No eggs yet. I hope we'll get those at half time.
Oh, I don't know. There's an egg maybe hidden inside a chick with us. So, yeah, looking forward to that later. It's a bit early in the morning for the cream eggs to come out. But the officials are on their way out, so we'll be getting underway pretty shortly. We've got another busy program, Lynn.
We have. We've got, it's the same as yesterday, but the opposite sex around. So, and we had a great time last night in the final session, some really exciting swims. Actually, some outstanding ones as well, weren't there? There's some real hot favourites there. And anyway, so this morning we've got the boys 200 metres individual medley, the girls 200 metres freestyle, boys 100 metres freestyle, and then the girls 100 breaststroke. So you can see that up on the screen there, the boys 50 backstroke and the girls 50 butterfly, followed by the boys 800 freestyle and then a relay.
Yeah, should be good. That IM features maybe 3 of the boy stars that we've had this week in the different age groups. So the top 3 times, the 18-year-old Andrew Bertoli, the 16-year-old Stefan Kravis and the 15-year-old Evan Davidson, and they've all been there or thereabouts in their respective age groups, haven't they, all week?
They have. There's been some outstanding swimming there. I mean, they've not had it all their own way, but really some outstanding swimming with that Scottish junior record we saw match there for Stefan in the 50 fly. So he'll be taking that one out hard, and some strong swimming from Andrew Bertoli as well. Outstanding swimming there.
Yes, indeed. Then in the girls 200 freestyle, we saw Katie Shanahan doing the 50 backstroke, obviously renowned as a 200 backstroker, but showed a lot of speed yesterday in the 50, and she's back in the 200 freestyle this morning.
Yeah, 200 freestyle more her distance, albeit not her stroke, but she is a strong swimmer in the 200 freestyle. Haven't seen her swimming it for a little while, actually, so it'll be good to see how she does.
Yep, and her teammate Drew McKenzie will give her a battle, I would think.
Yeah, Drew's won the 50 and the 100 in the freestyle and swimming really well, straight off the back of the British Championships. So doing well there.
100 freestyle for the boys. Stefan and Evan are back in that one, and Rory McKinnon has been going really fast, hasn't he, this week?
Yeah, trying different events from what we normally see him. 100 freestyle, definitely more his cup of tea, so that'll be really exciting, but he was good in the 200 free yesterday as well.
Inverclyde are a great producer of breaststrokers, aren't they? And Amy Watson, I think, will be the fancied swimmer in the 17, 18-year-old 100 breaststroke. We've got Charlotte Hardy, the South Ayrshire swimmer, up from Millfield, where she's doing her training now. She'll be one to watch in the 15-year-olds, although she was pipped to the post in both the 50 and the 200 by different swimmers, so it'll be interesting to see if she can get the gold in the middle distance.
Yes, and that has happened in the boys as well. We've seen that, and a different array of swimmers winning those medals.
16-year-old Lucas Brown, Elgin swimmer, is another one having a good meet, and he's the fastest entry time in the boys 50 backstroke.
Yeah, won the 100 back, and he's swimming well all round though in these championships. So, and 50, he's good at 50.
And then we've got 50 butterfly for the girls. So standouts there. Maybe Helen Stoddart in the 15-year-olds. Got a second swim down in Sheffield, but here we are. We're ready to go already. 200 individual medley.
Boys up.
So in this first one, we've got Finlay Sang, City of Glasgow, going in lane 1. Fraser McLaughlin of Elgin in 2. Yusuf Ibrahim, City of Glasgow in 3. Tom Armitage in lane 4 for Highland. Fraser Stewart of Steprock in 5. Logan Scally, Aberdeen Performance in 6. Alex Cumming of North Lanarkshire in lane 7. So Logan Scully starting strongly, Aberdeen Performance swimmer. Turns 29.73. Beside him, Fraser Stewart of Step Rock. He's had a pretty good meet. Lots of big PBs. Finalist in East District age groups a few weeks ago. So at the moment it looks like those two, as we follow them down the pool with the camera, just maybe the blue cap of Fraser into the halfway mark. So an advantage of 6/10 or so, and then 7/10 to lane 4, Tom Armitage, the Highlander. See if Fraser can sustain this lead in the breaststroke. Certainly Tom looks like he's gathering momentum in lane 4.
Yeah, we saw Tom swim this event at the North District age groups, and he's a strong breaststroker. He's got quite a lot to catch up though on that on the leading swimmer there.
It's going to be a good tight contest, I think, for our first event of the morning.
Yeah, Finlay Sangan from City of Glasgow working well there in lane 1 as well, come through on that breaststroke. But it is going to be tight towards the finish. Still those early leaders, Fraser and Logan.
Fraser got a lovely turn there from breast to freestyle, and he went into that turn maybe half a metre behind, but look at him now.
Yeah, I saw that on back to breast as well. He wasn't the quickest around the wall, but he got a fantastic push off and underwater work. Really strong, good transition into his stroke there. And he has opened out a lead just as we come in towards the finish.
Yep, so first victory of the morning goes to Step Rock's Fraser Stewart. Let's have a look at his time, 2:30.57. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. Entered on 2:33, which was almost certainly a short... Well, I say it was almost certainly a short course conversion. It might not have been, because he did swim that. In fact, he did swim that one at the Royal Commonwealth Pool, 2:33 dead. So 2.5 seconds improvement 3 weeks on. Well done, Fraser.
Yeah, it was interesting yesterday. Some of the swimmers are really putting in fast swims in the morning. And the 200 metres individual medley, I don't know if it's because of the stroke or perhaps because it was the first event. We weren't seeing best times from very many swimmers. So it's good to see we're starting off with one this morning.
Yeah, first 3 swimmers all inside their entry time, so well done to them.
So a full heat then for heat 2 in lane 0, Conor Brearley, Dundee City Aquatics. In lane 1, Jaden Chan, Carnegie. Lane 2, Andrew Smitten, South Aberdeenshire. In 3, Edward Bell, Seagulls. 4, Michael Skakel, Inverleith. In 5, Luke Garrity, Inverclyde. 6, Lewis Muir from Carnegie. In 7, Luke Janssen. Warrington Baths Club in lane 8, Mark Watchorn from Scotia, and in 9, Ollie Weavers, Carnegie.
Well, we talked earlier about Inverclyde's breaststrokers, and we'll be looking for Luke Garrity to prove the point later on in this one, but at the moment it is Edward Bell from Seagulls down on the south coast, and he's had a very successful meet.
Yes, I was just looking there. He's had some cracking swims, actually, and backstroke does seem to be one of his strengths. But yeah, we've seen... have we seen him on the podium? Yes, we have. In the 100 backstroke, Edward Bell was second.
Did he not win a gold in something as well?
Yes, he did, the 200 back.
I thought he did. 1:06.34 then, 2.5 seconds faster than the first heat, and certainly opened it up a big lead. So if there are other strong breaststrokers, then they've got some real work to do here. Try and bring this one back. Lane 5, though, is Luke Garrity, I was mentioning earlier, and he's certainly got a bit of head of steam, and they are starting to come back. There we go, with the Seagulls prominent on the cap, but you can see those swimmers starting to close the gap. Michael Skekel in 4 in the dark cap with the yellow Swan of Inverleith, and Luke Garrity of Inverclyde. So, well, you didn't think that gap was surmountable, but look at them go.
Yeah, Warrington Baths Club swimmer here, over here as well in lane 7, Luke Janssen having a strong breaststroke leg there. But having overhauled Edward Bell, we'll have to see if he can come back on the freestyle, but it looks as though it's our Inverleith swimmer. No, it's not, it's Luke Garrity, isn't it? Luke Garrity out in front at the moment.
Edward Bell's not done yet, though, in lane 3. He's coming back strongly in the freestyle, and this is going to be close, I think. Edward right up there now with Luke Garrity, and I think maybe he has got this one back. So good swim from him. Didn't let them, fact that he was overtaken in the breaststroke, get him down at all. 2:27.70. Another nice improvement. Entered on 2:31.20.
Yeah, he's improved on most of his events, and it's interesting to see, I mean, I'd like to think that his coach might work on his breaststroke a little bit. He's got 3 very strong strokes there, and the medley perhaps just spoiled by that weaker breaststroke, but having said that, he may choose to specialise in other events, but it's good to see him swimming when it's not his best strength.
Luke Garrity second there, 2:28.42. Michael Skeckel taking third place. And the lineup now for heat number 3. Logan Ward of Glenrothes in 0. Taylor Sinclair of Elgin in 1. Jack Doherty-Simpson of Scotia in 2. Ben Montgomery of Stirling Swim in 3. David Lamban of City of Glasgow in 4. Callum Sinclair of West Lothian in 5. Harry Keogh of Ren 96 in 6. Cameron Gill of First in 7. Mano Drysdale of Warrender in 8. And Fraser Donaldson, Mulgai and Bearsden in lane 9. 2:27 high up to 2:30. The range of times here, and a solid start from David Lamban. Both him and Callum Sinclair very useful butterfly swimmers, so they'll be going out pretty fast here, I think. And we're around the 30 point. Well, we're 30 point again in this heat, 30.61. I guess if you are a really strong fly swimmer, you don't want to take it out too fast, do you, at the beginning of a 200 IM?
No, long and easy strokes, relaxed. We spoke about it in the 400 metres individual medley, didn't we? How sometimes you'll find, especially with the girls, that they'll actually perform a best time for their 100-metre butterfly, taking it out. Not so much in the 200, because that is really 450s put together very quickly. But David Lamban working well here in the favoured lane. His entry time 2:27.9. He was in the pre-snags meet. He came second in that one here at Tollcross at the end of March, and 1:08.82 at halfway. So not quite as speedy as we saw in the previous heat, but we did see that the drop-off in the breaststroke leg. So if he can keep a good breaststroke leg and stay out in front, it could well still be the fastest at 3/4 of the way through.
Certainly a much more competitive heat, this one. Not got the big leads that we saw at certain points in the previous heat. Of course, we didn't see it at the end so much, but this time they're all pretty evenly matched across all the 4 strokes. The green cap, we haven't mentioned him, Jack Doherty-Simpson. He's certainly up there in the mix, along with David Lamban, and in the white cap, Harry Keogh of Ren 96. So those 3 all turning pretty much together. 1:54.27, still a little bit behind the previous heat, but let's see what they bring to bear, and the freestyle bringing it home.
Yeah, I don't think we'd mention Jack Doherty-Simpson because he came through really strongly there on the breaststroke, and it's the swimmer that Harry Keogh, Ren 96, is having the best freestyle just at the moment. You can see the swimmer in the red cap over here on the near side, but it does look as though it's going to be Harry Keogh from Ren 96 just coming through there. It's mighty close towards the finish, but it does. There you go, it is Harry Keogh, Ren 96, taking that one 2:27.45, so just inside the time from the previous heat, so that's the fastest so far.
Yeah, that was quite different in a way from the previous heat, wasn't it, in the way that was swum. Storming finish from Ben Montgomery to take second there, very, very fast on his freestyle at the end, and just got ahead of Jack Doherty-Simpson in the end, so 2:27s and 2:28s there. Again, some improvements on entry times.
Yeah, you can see a very close race though at the finish there. Lots of swimmers finishing around and about that 2:27, 2:28 mark.
So cracking on then.
So this is heat 4. In lane 0, Rogers Crongelis from North Lanarkshire Swim Team. In lane 1, Kyle Wong, City of Glasgow. Lane 2, Sean Sy-Griffiths, Warrington Baths Club. In 3, Lewis Gray, Inverclyde. Lane 4, Jack MacDonald, Puttridge. In 5, Guy Pelosi, City of Glasgow. Lane 6, Tom Ingalls, City of Glasgow. In 7, Bailey McGinley, First. In lane 8, Dan Hall, Aberdeen Performance. And in 9, Fergus Woodward, Portobello. And Fergus Woodward, Portobello. Not quite touching first there, but pretty neck and neck with the swimmer in lane 3, Lewis Gray from Inverclyde. Perhaps the better turn over here on the swimmer side.
Burgess has had a good meet, not seen Portobello for a little while in serious contention at national age groups, but Burgess certainly is up there, particularly in the butterfly events.
Who's the coach there at Portobello? Is that Andy May?
It is.
Yes. Yeah, I saw him earlier. He seemed to be really pleased with how everything was going, so that's good for him.
Andy May produces the most amazing tablet.
Oh, I think did he bring some up?
He did.
Yes, yeah, it was very good. Yeah. Who knew?
But anyway, it's Edinburgh swimmers right up there, along with the orange cap of Putteridge's Jack McDonald. Up in lane 2, Sean Griffiths going well.
Yes, I've seen him. I mean, he's made several finals, hasn't he, Sean Griffiths, and he's really worked his way through there in that breaststroke leg. Very strong breaststroke from him, but still, the Putteridge swimmer, Jack McDonald, he swam at the Bedfordshire meet. Of course, we don't know much about what goes on in those counties down in England, don't see them. But Jack coming up here to swim Scottish national age groups, he was third in this event in the Bedfordshire Championships.
So all to play for down this last length. Royas Kringelis up in lane 0 is having a stormer. He actually led at the 150, and I think he might come through and maintain this. It is the Putteridge swimmer, perhaps, who's going to give him the biggest test. This is going to be close. Also, Harris in lane 9. Whoa. Oh, Fergus, I should say. Harris is his brother. And it was Fergus. Take it. That was a cracking 32.65 to come back on there.
Yeah, really speedy down that final length. Like I say, it just had been beaten to the wall, just to the touch at the 150, and really worked hard down that final length to take that one.
Must have been the sugar burst from the tablet. Well done to Fergus Woodward. Just getting it by 600ths there. Jack McDonald second, and Royas Kringelis third, and Lewis Gray very much in the mix as well, and Sean Griffiths for that matter. So that was a good race, good competitive affair. And I'm sure this one will be as well. Heat number 5. Lewis Austin goes for Highland in 0. James Boddy of Geary in 1. Logan van der Merlen of Stirling Swim in 2. Kane Buchanan of Dundee City Aquatics in 3. Ryan Broadley of Brock in 4. Cameron Mitchell of St Thomas in 5. Austin Sinclair of Dumfries in 6. Ethan Stewart of South Lanarkshire in 7. Liam Goczynski of Montefieth in 8, and Marcus Blake, City of Glasgow, in lane 9.
Yeah, so we're on heat 5, and we're not actually even halfway through yet. We've got 10 heats of this 200 medley. I think it's great that so many swimmers have been given the opportunity to swim, but these morning sessions have been very long. But there we go. It's first the wall. It's in lane 4 from Brock, Ryan Broadley. So swimming from the North District.
Yeah, he's had a very solid start there in lane 4, so he's the fastest on paper, time 2:24.10. Again, the swimmer's pretty close to him. Lane 7 is in the mix. That's South Lanarkshire's Ethan Stewart. In fact, I think he's just edging into the lead now. The Montefieth swimmer, Liam Kozinski, is also pretty close. In fact, up into second, but 1:05.50, slightly faster than the previous heat for Ethan.
Yeah, he looked really good down that backstroke leg, and Ryan Broadley has got a bit of work to do to come back on terms now, but I know that he's a strong breaststroker. So we saw him in the North District Championships. He finished 8th there. In fact, looking at the times there, for the 4 top swimmers are all entered in a time of 2:24.1, so we'd expect it to be pretty close at the finish, and it's looking as though it's going to go that way. Ryan Broadley, though, I think just edging ahead on the breaststroke.
Well, Austin Sinclair, though, in lane 6 is making his move. Dumfries swimmer. Dumfries have been a little bit quiet in this meet. We've seen some good swims from Finlay Nelson. I think he's been on the podium. Can't think of any other Dumfries swimmers on the podium, but here going well is Austin. See if he can bring this down. We've seen quite a few fast freestyle back ends that have brought a swimmer through, and we're maybe going to see the same here. Look at that in the white cap in lane 2, Logan van der Merlen, and also in lane 4, Ryan Broadley, the early leader coming through, and it's Ryan who nicks it. Thought it was going to be Logan, I must admit, and then in the last few meters, Ryan just found another gear and moved up and through. So in the end, good, nearly 3 seconds faster than the previous heat, and once again, knocking times off the entry times, so some good stuff there. Ryan from the Brock, Fraser-Barat.
Was it Logan that we saw bringing home that 4x100 freestyle relay for Sterling? I think he was really storming through there. But we are halfway through now.
We are.
So this is heat number 6. In lane 0, we have Zach Slater from East Lothian. In 1, Connor Mitchell, Warren de Bath. In lane 2, Jack Mackay from Perth City. In 3, Ben McLaughlin Geary. In 4, Adam Scott, City of Glasgow. 5, Robbie Carlisle, North Lanarkshire Swim Team. In lane 6, Kai Connolly, City of Glasgow. 7, Luke Porteous, East Lothian. In lane 8, Owen Williamson, East Lothian. In lane 9, Fraser McIntosh, South Lanarkshire.
28.96, Luke Porteous leads the way from East Lothian, fellow East Lothian swimmer Owen Williamson. So those two in lane 7 and 8. Luke sporting his club cap rather than the East Lothian cap. There's the Musselburgh cap. But maybe just, has he been overtaken by his teammate? I think he possibly has. Owen, a good solid backstroker. Also up there in lane 2 is Perth's John Mackay. So it's these three with a fair margin over the others. Lane 6 in 4th place, Kai Connolly. But certainly Owen and Luke, neither of them, I would say, would rate themselves as top quality breaststrokers. But now I don't want to do them down. Let's see how they get on here.
But coming through on this breaststroke leg here in lane 7.
Yep, so Luke is just edging past Owen, and he seems to be pretty much holding his ground at the front of this race. As Kai Connolly starting to try and come back at him. Luke, a pretty solid freestyler, so you would think is in pretty good shape here. 1:47.34 with 50 to go.
Yeah, so it opened up a little bit of a lead there. I mean, almost 2 seconds he had over in 2nd place, the swimmer alongside him, Owen Williamson. I can't imagine that Luke is going to give this one away now. He's moving ahead. So a couple of body lengths clear now. Well, one full body length between his feet and the head of Owen Williamson. And that looks as though that's going to be the 1-2. 3rd, Adam Scott, City of Glasgow, but he's having a bit of a battle on with the swimmer in lane 6, Kai Connolly, his teammate. Not sure who's going to get to the wall first. Wouldn't you say that is the yellow cap of Ben McLaughlin, just sneaking through there at the finish to take 3rd place for Geary.
So under the 2:20 for the first time. So well done, Luke. And that was a very nice swim. I think that's probably the swim of the meet so far for Luke. 4 seconds inside his entry time. I think he'll be very happy with that. And making an East Lothian 1-2 with Owen Williamson in 2nd. Ben McLaughlin, just 400s in it.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You can see that some of the swimmers here have got really busy programs, and as the meet is a long meet, and some of them are swimming a lot of events, and you can see them just starting to flag towards the end of the meet, and Luke Porteous perhaps just growing into it, getting better as the meet goes through.
Yeah, well done to him. That was nice stuff. On to the last, before we go to the cycle seeded heats, we've got Adam Curry of North Ayrshire in 0, Robson Miles of City of Glasgow in 1, Jack Mitchell of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Cameron Doran of North Lanarkshire in 3, Kyle Mitchell of Geary in 4, Greg Hall of Aberdeen Performance in 5, Cameron Creaney of North Lanarkshire in 6, Adam Scott of Wren 96 in 7, Fraser Tetlow of Geary in 8, Thomas Traynor, South Lanarkshire in lane 9. Well, nice start from Cameron Creaney in the white cap of North Lanarkshire in lane 6. 28.25, so that's about 7/10 faster than Luke, well, I think it was Owen Williamson split in the previous heat at the 50. Here he is coming towards the camera. I think our cameraman here could be dicing with death as we see the... Oh, she's moving away, very sensible. 104.84 then, Cameron, 105.04. Another Cameron, Creaney, Doran and Creaney then, lanes 3 and 6.
Yeah, not so strong on the backstroke there, but this is a cracking breaststroke by the looks of it. Coming through in 6 now, Cameron Creaney, and looking pretty strong. Alongside him, we've got the white cap there, Adam Scott. And he's looking pretty good on the breaststroke, but I think he's got too much to make up. It is still Cameron Creaney. You can see on the other side of the 2 yellow lanes, Cameron Doran, North Lanarkshire swim team, is coming through well on this breaststroke leg. He's still going to be a second or so behind as we come in towards the touch, but still a freestyle to go. He's in with a shout. Cameron Creaney, though, it is, turning first, 147.17, and a second and a bit is advantage over Cameron Doran, now in second place.
So half a length or just over to go, and it's certainly looking like Cameron Creaney's got this one stitched up. We're seeing Cameron Doran being pressured somewhat by Robson Miles now in lane 1, the City of Glasgow swimmer, and then a very tight contest for 4th. But here we see coming towards us is Cameron Creaney for a good win, 2:20.48. So just not quite getting under the 2:20 that time, but inside is 2:21.85 entry time, so can't complain at that. It was a Cameron 1-2, with Cameron Doran taking second in 2:21.83. Greg Hall with a strong freestyle to finish, just getting ahead of Robson Miles by a 10th, 2:22.89 for him.
Yeah, so Luke Porteous, the fastest so far as we go into the cyclically seeded heats. And we've certainly got some pretty fast 200 metres medley swimmers coming up in the next 3 in the centre lanes. And here we have it then. So our next heat has in lane 0 Magnus Bullow from Shetland, in lane 1 Jacob Wood Elgin, 2 Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow, in lane 3 Luke Hornsey, East Lothian, lane 4 Evan Davidson, Perth City, in 5 Matthew McMillan, Incas, lane 6 Nathan Campbell, Stirling Swim, in lane 7 Finley Davis, Midlothian, 8 Brodie Gordon Gibson, Warrington Bass Club, and in lane 9 Sam Harrison, Perth City. Evan Davidson in the centre lane, perhaps the favourite for this one. No respect for that at all in lane 8 from Brodie Gordon Gibson, cracking first 50 fly there, turning in 27.84, and in one of the outside lanes really, and looking pretty strong on the backstroke too. Evan Davidson, though, he's won plenty of events already, including the breaststroke, so won the breaststroke 100 and 200.
Watch out for Luke Hornsey, won the 400 IM yesterday, and he's a fair way back, but he's very much a second half favoured in his medley. So 102.89, now it's Nathan Campbell from Brodie Gordon Gibson, Finley Davis, Evan Davison, all there or thereabouts behind them. I think we will start to see Luke Hornsey make a move, maybe particularly in the freestyle, but he has to start that process in the breaststroke. See if he can, but at the moment still in lane 6 Nathan Campbell of a Stirling Swim, looking pretty solid here.
Yeah, we've seen some good swims from Stirling Swim, haven't we, during the course of the meet, and they're quite high up in the top team trophy, perhaps higher than they've been for a few years, and he's still up there with Evan Davidson just as they come towards the final turn. Evan just touching first there, 145.09.
So as you'd expect, it's faster than we saw in the earlier heats, and we are seeing Luke Hornsey coming up. Whether he can catch Evan is perhaps questionable, but Evan in the red cap of Perth, well, he's coming under pressure now from Luke Hornsey. I think Cameron Creaney will have to settle for, or Nathan Campbell rather, have to settle for 3rd place, but it's tight for the win, but goes to Evan, who holds off Luke Hornsey in the end, 2:15.90 for Evan, and I think we've got more to come from him tonight. Certainly sets himself up for a good lane in the 15-year-old final. Probably the same applies to Luke in the 16-year-old final. He's got an 800 to come, so he had to judge, I guess, how hard to swim that do enough probably to get into the final. Nathan Campbell taking third, 2:17.50 for him.
Yeah, so Evan swam 2 minutes 10 down at the British Championships, just beaten, in fact, by the fastest seed in this heat, Stefan Kravich, who was also on 2:10, but just a little bit lower. Different age groups in this meet at the Scottish national age groups. Of course, the British Championships are an open event. Anyway, in lane 0, we've got Finlay Nelson from Dumfries. In lane 1, Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow. Lane 2, Finlay Club, Aberdeen Dolphins. And 3, Murray Pritchard from Perth City. In lane 4, Stefan Kravich, East Lothian. 5, Matthew Garrity, Inverclyde. In 6, Travis Davey, Dundee City Aquatics. In lane 7, Lucas Brown, Elgin. Lane 8, Finn Bremner, Warrington Bath Club. And in 9, Connor Stewart. So several of the swimmers we spoke about actually during our little brief intro in this heat here.
27.34, Murray Pritchard, who's another swimmer who has performed very well for Perth. Perth having a storming age group championships. Lane 6, though, now moving up on the backstroke, and that's Travis Davey of Dundee. And lane 8, Finn Bremner of Warrender is in the mix as well. So at the moment, not going with the seedings, but again, as we've seen a number of times in this meet, maybe Stefan Kravich just holding his fire at the moment.
Yeah, I think these 3 swimmers over here on the swimmer side are known for their backstroke. Certainly Lucas Brown, Travis Davey, we see them on strong backstroke legs. But look at Finn Bremner, looking good out in front there. Warrington Bath swimmer in lane 8.
Yes, so he is the one who is pushing it on. Finn, silver medalist at East District age groups at the Commonwealth Pool. But Travis Davey still right there with him. Now we're starting to see the centre lanes coming through. Stefan Kravich and the breaststroke specialist Matthew Garrity in the white cap. So we've got 4 swimmers at the final turn, still led by Finn, 1:42.36. So that's over 2.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. And Stefan Kravich just 4/10 behind him, and not anymore. He's just eased himself into the lead. I think that will be what he's aiming to do here, just get the job done. Don't use up too much energy on the final morning of this championships, but ease yourself into a heat win. 2:13.83, so entered on 2:10. Did a 2:10 as well, slightly faster at the British Championships. So 2:30 is perfectly acceptable, I think, for a heat swim.
No, I think that's a good effort there from Stefan. Another person that's had a really busy programme, lots to do. He's been swimming sensible heats in the morning, not taking it too easy, generally getting those centre lanes, although we didn't see that yesterday. But he'll be considering himself probably the favourite for that final this evening.
One more heat to go in this boys 200 IM, which has been very good. I've enjoyed this 200 IM. We've seen some really good swims, some nice technique on show. And just confirmation then. Oh, look at that. We've got a disqualification, Stefan Kravich. Well, that is a surprise. I wonder what that was about. I'm sure that Coach Jamie Ward will be down with polite inquiry about that one.
Probably quite swiftly.
Anyway, one more heat to go. Jake Gibson of Brock goes in 0. Archie Dixon of City of Glasgow in 1. Tom Robertson of Aberdeen Dolphin in 2. Micah Van Blurk for Warrender in 3. Andrew Bertoli of City of Glasgow in 4. Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow in 5. John Taylor, Aberdeen Performance in 6. Callum Rose, Warrender in 7. James Burnett, Warrender in 8. Owen Carroll of Perth City in lane 9. Andrew and Robert had a good contest yesterday in the 400 IM in the 17-18 age group. Andrew eventually coming through the winner, but the fastest out here in lane 2 is the fly specialist from Aberdeen Dolphin, Tom Robertson, 27.12. So that is the fastest we've seen for the first 50.
Yeah, Tom Robertson having a really good meet, really strong fly he was last night. We saw him through in the final there last night. But I don't know, really interesting actually, looking there in lane 5 it is Robert Burgess. I mean, he has really strong backstroke. He's taking medals in both the backstroke events. winning them, in fact.
Yep, yeah, indeed. Backstroke very much is his strong suit, and 101.52 is by over a second the fastest we've seen at the halfway point. You would expect them to come back a bit at him here, but he's taking this heat swim pretty seriously, I think, Robert. He's a very focused athlete and always looking to perform very much at the top of his game. Andrew Bertoli now just easing away from the pack to make second his own. I don't think he'll be too bothered that he's behind Robert. He'll be another one who's had a huge program and will be needing to conserve his energies. So 1:39.31 for Robert Burgess, the 150 mark, and he has about 3.5 seconds over Andrew Bertoli.
Yeah, Robert second to Andrew in the 400 metres individual medley last night. And I see, looking at your stats that you've prepared, Duncan, that Robert won the pre-snags meet, and 2:11.89, his entry time was from that meet. But he's been improving on the times that he swam even very recently. Perhaps not to be expected this morning, but hopefully in the final this evening, very close to that entry time, 2:12.62. And is still, well, it's the first event of the morning, so he might not be up bright and breezy properly, but he's done a cracking job there. That's the fastest time we've seen. Andrew Bertoli in second, 2:15.49, and Micah van Blerk, 2:17.25. Got to wait for confirmation of that, of course. Just goes to show. You can't take anything for granted. But that's the 1, 2, 3, Robert Burgess, Andrew Bertoli, Micah van Blerk, and Tom Robertson.
Yeah, he looked pretty bright and breezy to me, Robert, there. That was good focus swim, and to be within a second of his entry time was pretty good for the morning, and I'm sure he'll be faster again this evening. So we're done with the 200 IM. We have our first sighting of the girls this morning, and it's 200 freestyle for them. We have got 10 heats.
10 heats again. That's just the final few tens of the results for the 200 metres individual medley, but I can tell you in the water just now is, or about to go in the water, in lane 0, Deborah Tomacek from St Thomas. In lane 1 we have Gemma Brown from Carnegie. In 2, Alice Hall, South Aberdeenshire. Lane 3, Anna Perry, Warrington Bath Club. In lane 4, Jessica Powell Elgin. In lane 5, Amy Fotheringham from North Lanarkshire Swim Team. 6 goes Evie Judge from Kintyre. 7, Thea Glenn, City of Glasgow. 8, Isla Garden, Geary, and in lane 9, Eden Fraser, Aberdeen Performance. Doesn't it take a long time to go through all of those heats? I thought we'd have some views of the swimmers by now. Anyway, we'll see them up on the blocks in just a minute, about to go into the water.
Yes, they come forward to the blocks. We'll see them just in a moment, I'm sure. There we are. So the entry times in this first heat all around the 2:23 mark, just edging into 2:24 for one swimmer. So again, it should be competitive. Of course, not got the change in strokes to muddy the waters here. It's all about the tactics, I guess, around how they want to swim this 200 freestyle. Take it out hard, or save your energies for the second half, or a bit of both sometimes. Hard first 50, hard back 50, and gentler in the middle. How would you do it, Lynn?
Oh, I'm not even sure I could anymore, Duncan. I can't remember the last time I swam 200 freestyle. I think I would probably go out hard and try and hang on.
We'll see what these swimmers are doing. It's pretty competitive. We've got 6 swimmers, all fairly close. Lanes 0 and 1 up at the top of your screen going well. Brava Tomaszek and Gemma Brown. I think might be the Brava, is it? Or no, maybe lane 3. Yeah, it is lane 3. Anna Perry just edging it at the 100. 1:07.23 up by a couple of tenths. So the centre lane certainly started to make a move. Jessica Powell and Anna Perry, there's the half-time leader, and still up there at the top of your screen, Debrava and Gemma. So they're the top 4, but now you can see that it is the swimmers in 4 and 3 who have opened up a pretty tidy gap on the rest of the field, and it's going to be Jessica Powell, the Elgin swimmer, turning for home with a 3/10 lead. Entered 2:22.65, so in position in lane 4, has the fastest entry time, and it looks like she's justifying that here. Certainly Anna Perry, the Warrender swimmer, not out of it. Down they come to the 15-metre markers, and there's only, what, half a metre, if that, between the two of them. So Jessica has to push on here to make sure she can bring this one home, but she's doing just that. She takes the win. 2:20.44 for her, 2 seconds inside her entry time.
No, good result there for Jessica Powell, North District swimmer, representing Elgin here. They're having a good meet as well, actually, aren't they, Elgin? That's Lucas Brown swimming particularly well, but quite a few girls as well, performing well.
Yep, nice swim from Anna Perry as well. Nicely inside her entry time, taking second there, and then the remaining swimmers in the 2:23s. That's the lineup for heat number 2. Julie Dunn, South Ayrshire in 0, teammate Phoebe Murdoch in 1, Katie Rose of Warrender in 2, Lauren Anderson of Fauldhouse in 3, Amy McAlonan of Wren 96 in 4, Ellen McPhee of Fauldhouse in 5, Helen Stoddart of East Lothian in 6, Chloe Mclean, Dundee City Aquatics in 7, Ella Chalmers of Eithin in 8, and Anna Sutty of Step Rock in lane 9.
Good start there in lane 6. Helen Stoddart, East Lothian swimmer, and member of the Youth Academy. She's had a good meet as well.
Yeah, fly mainly her thing, but she's renowned, I think, for a pretty fast start. And she was the gold medalist, I think, in the 100 freestyle, if I've got that right. Or was it the 50?
Well, you know, I don't know. Oh, 15-year age group, of course she is.
So Ellen McPhee, I think, maybe is just ahead of her. Well, there's two just about side by side. Also going well in 0 is Julie Dunn, and well, 2 and 3 as well. Katie Rose and Lauren Anderson. So all very competitive at the halfway mark. See now 5 swimmers in the 107s, led by Ellen McPhee, 107.02. Still has Helen Stoddart right beside her in lane 6. These two maybe just opening up the gap a bit. Lanes 3 and 2. Lauren Anderson of Fauldhouse, Katie Rose of Warrender. Also in there, lane 4, Amy McAlonan of Wren 96. But it is Ellen and Helen. Ellen just opening up the gap a bit. You can see there 36.4 against Helen's 36.6 for that split. Nobody else in the 36s. 43.43, just a touch faster than the previous heat. So this is now about a sprint, I think, between the two girls. Who has got the power down at the back end of this race? Can anybody come back at her? It doesn't look too likely. So this is stroke for stroke now into the final 5. Is it going to be Helen just nicking it? Let's see. It's all about spotting the finish. Ooh, it's tight. But it was Helen just edging it, 2:19.16 against Helen's 2:19.35. Both of them nicely inside their entry times. Helen entered 2:22 dead and Ellen 2:21.32. So good work from those two girls.
Yeah, nicely paced race there from Helen. In fact, it was the silver she's had in the 105.50 later on this morning and tonight. So,
okay.
Saying about her particularly strong starts. Winner of the 53. Oh, good spot. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how she does in the 50 fly.
And I think I saw another disqualification there, but I just missed where it came from. So apologies for that. You saw it on the board, and we were tension just wandering a little bit there, so let's see if we can just get clarity about that.
So next up, heat 3 though, in lane 0, Ayla Cochrane from City of Glasgow. In lane 1, Ellie Craig-Collins, Warrender Baths Club. In 2, Jessica Beaton, Aberdeen Dolphins. In lane 3, Naomi Wilson, Warrender Baths. Lane 4, Erin Curry, Eithin. In lane 5, Alex Coy, Warrender Baths. In 6, Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow. 7, Melissa Turnbull, Stirling Swim. In lane 8, Georgia Dickey, Dumfries. And in lane 9, Rachel McQuire from North Ayrshire. So Ellie Craig-Collins and her teammate Alex Coy taking this one out, 1 and 2, 30.31 for Ellie, just out touching her teammate. Still these two swimmers out in front as we come down the second length. And on the near side here, on the swimmer side, we can see two swimmers trying to make their way up towards the lead. Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow, Melissa Turnbull, Sterling Swim.
So Ali Craig-Collins is opened up a pretty healthy lead from lane 1 there at the halfway point, 1:04.94. So perhaps just struggled a bit to find her form after the lockdown, but it looks like she's coming into it nicely now. The 15-year-old from Warrender entered 2:20.9. Warrender teammate is perhaps her biggest threat, Alex Coy in lane 5. So those two looking to try and make it a Warrender 1-2 from Erin Curry at Hythen turns in 3rd place, and it is Alex Coy now just edged into the lead, 1:42.06, a second and a bit faster than the previous heat. So these two girls going well, but it looks like it's Alex who's got the stronger back end.
Yeah, they took that out surprisingly hard. I mean, entry times of 2:20, turning in under 1:05 at the halfway mark. That's a really strong start, and perhaps a little bit too much there for Ellie Craig-Collins. I wouldn't say she's faded, but she is getting caught there by the centre lane Erin Curry from Itham. No doubt about the winner, though. That's Alex Coy, Warrender Baths, 2:16.98, so a cracking improvement there for her, taking more than 3 seconds off her entry time. Ellie Craig-Collins does just hold on for second in that lane 1, 2:19.33, and Erin Curry, 2:19.75. There's some good finishes there as well, but nicely paced race as it happens. It was for our winner, Alex Coy. So let's move on then to Heat 4. In lane 0, we have Lucia Biva Seguidaro from East Lothian. Another East Lothian swimmer in 1, Emma Finley. In lane 2, Maria Howe, Aberdeen Performance. Lane 3, Millie MacArthur, South Lanarkshire. In 4, Ivana Janssen, Warrender Bath Club. 5, Caris Mooney, City of Glasgow. Lane 6, Tegan Black, East Lothian. In lane 7, Ella Poolman, Glen Rothes. Lane 8, Kate Cassidy, Aberdeen Performance. In lane 9, Ayla Kennedy, South Lanarkshire. Emma Finley taking this one out really hard in lane 1 from East Lothian. A good start from her and a cracking first 25. But, the swimmers over on the near side in 6 and 7, so that's Tegan Black. Tegan Black's had a really good meet, hasn't she? And Ella Pullman moving through towards the latter half of that length and into this second 50.
Yep, Tegan particularly strong in the distance events. Goals in both the 8 and the 15. But going pretty well in this shorter distance as well. Leads the way narrowly from lane 2. Maria Howe, she got onto the podium last night. Nicely done by her. Swimming in the 15 age group as well, North District age silver medalist, but Ella Pullman just in second place behind Tegan Black at the halfway mark, 1:05.37 for Tegan.
Yeah, Maria swims with Colts. She may have done a recent transfer into the Aberdeen Performance Programme, but throughout most of their development, the swimmers train with their home clubs, and Maria working with Deanne Haslam at the club in Colts, and has had a real breakthrough year this year. It's great to see her on the podium last night.
But Tegan really taking control of this one now. I guess as befits the distance swimmer, very strong at the back end here and just moving up the pace, because she was over half a second behind the pace from the previous heat at the 100, but then nearly 2 seconds ahead of it at the 150. So really just a change of gear on that third 50, and we'll see how hard she pushes it. It looks pretty hard, I think, down this last length. Those legs going pretty strongly. Cracking race going on for second place. There's 4 involved in it. Who's going to get it? Maybe it's Ella Pullman, the Glen Rothes swimmer, in lane 7, and it is, but 2:16.25 there for Tegan, entered 2:19.39, so another very nice swim from the 15-year-old from East Lothian. Ella Pullman, also a good strong swim there, entered 2:19, gets it down to low 2:18, and Ivana Janssen taking third, just ahead of Karis Mooney.
Yeah, another strong performance there from East Lothian. They seem to have a good team spirit here at the national age groups this year. I think we'll give the points out for the club team, shall we, after this event?
Yeah, we could just dribble it in as we go and just wind up the suspense, why not? Of course, one more day to go before it all gets decided, but here's the lineup for Heat 5. We have got Kirsty Gilmore of South Lanarkshire in 0, Heather Stewart of North Ayrshire in 1, Holly Simpson of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Emma McGavin, South Lanarkshire in 3, Ariana Stokes of Tynemouth in 4, Rosie Liston and Talia Blackley in 5 and 6, both representing City of Glasgow, Sarah Stewart of Mulgai and Bearsden in 7, and then 2 more from City of Glasgow, Victoria Niven in 8 and Safrina Machin in lane 9. Ariana Stokes of Tynemouth just edging it at the 50, 30.77. We've seen 30 points in the last few heats for the 50. This looks like it could be a tight one. 2 centre lanes just about together. Ariana and Rosie. Also lane 6, Talia.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one to you, Duncan, to call, because it's very close indeed. So, just touching first there, 106.17, Talia Blackley.
Yep. Our colleague Robert Taylor is the expert spotter of who's going to win tight finishes, and he almost always gets it right. I'm not as brave as him, but it looks like the Glaswegians going very nicely now, and in particular lanes 5 and 6, Rosie and Talia. I think also lane 9, Safrina Machin, so you can't discount her either. The 3 of them just about together at the 150 turn, 141.84, 700ths between Talia and Safrina, and then 1400ths to Rosie, who's got the speed at the back of this race, so that's the question. It might be the Eminent B swimmer, Victoria Niven. She is coming up strongly in lane 7, still up there, or lane 8.
It's lane 9.
Yeah, it is lane 7, but it's lane 9. Okay, you're calling it. Right, we're done. And Safrina takes it nicely down from the outside lane, 2:16.78. A couple of seconds nearly inside our entry time. Certainly the heat winners on the first few in each heat pretty consistently ahead of their entry time, so solid stuff here. Just waiting for confirmation here of the here we go, and it is Safrina from Sarah from Ariana, the 1, 2, 3, 2:16.78. And there's the lineup for heat number 6.
We're halfway through the 200 freestyle in lane 0, we've got Natalie Bruce from Broch. Lane 1, Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow. In 2, Katie Barron, Midlothian. Lane 3, Stella McCarty, City of Glasgow. In 4, Hannah McCullough, Mulgai and Bearsden. In 5, Amy Bell, Midlothian. 6, Catherine Renfrew, Perth City. In lane 7, Eleanor Ross Highland. In 8, Zoe Crawford first. In lane 9, Lucy Atherton, Heart of Midlothian. So Stella McCarty's had a cracking meet in her age group. Can't see, just checking to see how many golds she's already won. I think the total is 6, and she won the 4, 8 and 1500 freestyle already. Swimming in lane 3 though, but it's lane 5 taking it out there. Amy Bell. That's lane 6 actually. Catherine Renfrew. She's had another swimmer who's had a really good meet. Perth having an exceptional time of it. I think they're much farther up the points total than we would have expected. I'm going to just give out a couple of them.
Yeah, let's do that.
So in 10th place with 173 points, the team from Falkirk Integrated Regional, and 187 points in 9th place is the team from Stirling Swim. 200 points for Heart of Midlothian, and 223.5 for Aberdeen Dolphins. South Lanarkshire just outside the top 5 on 281.5.
So that's 6 to 10. I wonder who's in 1 to 5. But Catherine Renfrew will be looking to earn some more points for Perth here. Not mentioned them in the top clubs yet, so it means they're in the top 5 or not in the top 10. Which one is it, I wonder? 140.69. If you've been following these championships, you might be able to guess whether they're in the top 5 or not. Certainly Catherine's playing her full part here in their success. She's been on the podium and looking good to take this heat pretty comfortably. Lane 1 is Heidi Wren of City Glasgow, another swimmer who's done really well this week. Eleanor Ross is in that category too, but neither of them can cope with Catherine's speed. 2:15.15, that's our new fastest time, and over a second and a half inside her entry time that she did up in Aberdeen about 3 weeks ago. So good progression from Catherine there.
Yeah, so we've seen several swimmers who are multi-champions at this championship. Of course, swimmers can only score once per day to support their teams in the team championships.
Confirmation of that result. And we go on to heat number 7. Rebecca Ogier, South Lanarkshire in 0. India Marshall in 1 for East Lothian. Gabriella Lessing goes for Ren 96 in 2. Ashley Drake of Warrender in 3. Hebe Weavers of Carnegie in 4. Catherine Boddy of Geary in 5. Elise Kendall of Corby in 6. Natalie Marshall of West Lothian in 7. Grace Campbell of Portobello in 8. And Louise Connell of City of Glasgow in lane 9. That's the Warrender swimmer Ashley Drake just showing first in lane 3. But as they come down, there's not much to choose between them. Pushing on Catherine Boddy in lane 5, and the yellow cap, Elise Kendall. But Catherine Boddy, in fact, turns first, 30.37.
Yes, Ashley Drake, the East District champion in this event, and she was in fact, she was the silver medalist in the 100. That cap there, is that the West Lothian cap, Natalie Marshall? Perhaps just coming through. Pretty close. I think it's still Ashley Drake. It's going to be mighty close between Ashley Drake and Natalie Marshall at the halfway mark. And Natalie Marshall just getting the touch there, 104.66, 2/10 ahead of Ashley Drake.
Also keep your eye on Gabriella Lessing in lane 2. She is a contender here. In fact, still quite a few contenders. The yellow cap we mentioned, Elise Kendall. Portobello's Grace Campbell not too far away in lane 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All pretty close there as we come up to the 150. Might be lane 7. Is it just getting the touch? Yes, it is. Natalie Marshall. 139.81. So the Youth Academy member from West Lothian just missed the medal at East Districts, 4th place. See whether she can get into a second swim tonight here. I think in the 16-year-old age group. Now though, pushing on in lane 2, Gabriella Lessing, and it looks like it's going to be Gabriella who is going to take it. It's going to be close for second. Great finish from Grace Campbell. Nearly got up to Gabriella in the end there. Both on 34.01s for their final 50. And Ashley Drake third.
Good call there, Duncan. You said watch out for Gabriella Lessing, didn't you? Very early doors there. Very strong finish for her.
Yeah, she came into the meet 2:15.30, so a second and a quarter taken off that. So well done, Gabriella. Good finish from Grace as well. Nice PB from her. And Ashley Drake as well, getting under the 2:15. Into the cycle seeded heats. Now, what is special about the girl in lane 0?
Is that a quiz?
It is.
Oh, goodness. Oh, yes, yes. In lane 0, we have Hannah Edmiston, City of Glasgow. And Hannah, 17 today, I understand.
Yep, happy birthday, Hannah.
I wonder how that will work for her. What a special way to celebrate your birthday, coming to the Scottish National Age Groups and swimming a 200 freestyle. I wonder what else she's got on today. Anyway, in lane 0, Hannah Edmiston. In lane 1, Anna Williamson, City of Glasgow. Lane 2, Kerry Gillespie, Aberdeen Performance. In 3, Millie Milne, Warren de Bass Club. In 4, Olivia Mason, Warren de Bass. In 5, Catherine Bailey, Perth City. In lane 6, Cara Gordon, Stirling Swim. 7, Jessica Heaps, Faulthouse. In lane 8, Jenna Cole, North Lanarkshire. And in lane 9, Amelia Mardell, Ulverston. So 2 lanes in the middle, perhaps, just coming in there. Olivia Mason and Catherine Bailey. Catherine's had a cracking meet, hasn't she? Winning so many of the different championships in the butterfly, in the medley, in the freestyle. 200 probably the bottom end of her distance. But, looking very strong. Olivia Mason too.
Yeah, Olivia Mason, another one who was 4th in East District age groups. But looks like it is the Perth swimmer now who's just got the edge. Member of the Scottish junior team, did a 2:07 down at the British Championships, so 2nd faster than her inch time here. So we wouldn't expect her to be that fast this morning, but maybe tonight. Certainly looks in good shape to take this heat now. 1:37.16 at the halfway mark. And just pulled away from Olivia with 3rd place in lane 6, Cara Gordon of Stirling.
Yeah, confident swim here from Catherine Bailey. I think that her confidence must have grown after her performances down at the British Championships and here at the Scottish National Age Groups as well. So I've seen her do, I mean, used to seeing her swimming distance freestyle, but a broader range of events here, and she's performed well in all of them, and that 200 freestyle, 2:12.42, confident swim there. 2:13.23 for Olivia Mason in 2nd. Cara Gordon coming through to take 3rd in 2:13.27. Really good race.
So just wait for confirmation of that. Which is just taking a little while to come up, so maybe some consultation going on about something, but here we are. Confirming that, and a good creditable swim there, 2:15.32 from Hannah Edmiston, the birthday girl. So well done, Hannah. On to heat number 9. And we've got Catriona Stewart of Western Bartonshire in 0. Chloe Barron of Midlothian in 1. Sienna Perry of Aberdeen Performance in 2. Murray Craig of Stirling Swim in 3. Drew McKenzie, City of Glasgow in 4. Anna Green of Warrender in 5. Isabel Wood, Stirling Swim in 6. Louisa Stoddart of East Lothian in 7. Mia McLeod of Swim It in 8. And Alice Mackey of Heart of Midlothian in lane 9. And Drew McKenzie certainly will be a fancy one here.
Catriona Stewart taking it out there over in lane 0, and Drew McKenzie, as you would expect, really strong first 50 from her. Sorry, I interrupted you, Duncan.
That's all right. 29.71 for Drew. She was 3rd in the junior final at Edinburgh International, a B finalist over at the McCullum meet in Bangor in Northern Ireland. So she's had some decent long course opportunities so far this season, and looks nicely in her groove here as we come into halfway. 1:02.36 is of 2nd faster than the previous heat. .206 entry time for Drew. Certainly one of her stronger events, along with perhaps the 100 freestyle even more. Good 200 IMer as well. Good fly swimmer.
Yeah, Mary Craig just moving up towards her shoulder now in lane 3 from Stirling Swim. Known for the longer distances, Drew more so for the shorter. Meeting in the middle on this 200. They're not in the same, in fact they are in the same age group, 17, 18 years. So Mary Craig really pulling up alongside Drew there. I'm not sure Drew's necessarily going to battle it out and stress herself in this morning heat. But they're swimming stroke for stroke. Anna Green coming through now, Warrington Baths Club. Backstroke perhaps her speciality, but throwing a strong freestyle as well. Mary Craig has gone through and passed Drew Mackenzie. She's going to take this penultimate heat. Touching first there, 2:10.35, so that's the fastest so far, 2:11.86. So Drew Mackenzie just slipping in ahead of Catherine Bailey and Isabel Wood. We didn't even speak about her, came through strongly at the end to take third place for Sterling Swim.
Yeah, so you talked about Mari's strength in the distance events, and she really pushed it on there in that second half to use those strengths, didn't she? And that earned herself a best time on a 2:11.10 entry time, so nicely done there. Final heat of this girls 200 freestyle. We have Orla McInnes of Heart of Midlothian in 0, Jory Horn, City of Glasgow in 1, Melissa Main Waring of West Lothian in lane 2, Elise Cousins of Perth City in 3, Katie Shanahan of City of Glasgow in 4, Natasha Simpson of Warrender in 5, Holly McGill of Heart of Midlothian in 6, Susie McNair of First in 7, Eve Mayer of South Ayrshire in 8, and Ella Stevenson of North Lanarkshire in lane 9.
Yeah, so it's good to have sight of Katie Shanahan, I think, at this championships. Having lost all the swimmers in the 19 and over age group this year, it's good to see the swimmers that have performed well down at the British Championships following that up. Like Katie Shanahan, Holly McGill as well, performed brilliantly down at the British Championships, and they've come back to snags. Doing different events perhaps to the ones that we normally are used to seeing them. Katie Shanahan, in the past we have seen a lot of 200 freestyles from her, a very strong 200 freestyler. She's entered on a 2:03. I think that's perhaps a short course conversion. I think her best time may be around the 2:03 mark regardless, and looking very strong out in front there.
Yeah, she's taken this pretty hard, hasn't she? And obviously, you know, has her reasons for what she wants to enter this week in her lead up to what is going to be a busy year for her. She achieved nomination times in the Commonwealth Games, so we'll certainly be expecting to see her in Birmingham. And she is very strong here, 1:33.21, so about 32.5 for that third 50. We'll see if she does ease back or whether she continues at that pace to coming in sort of around 2:05 pace. So definitely going to be the fastest qualifier for the final. She has to get ahead of 2:10 to do that. She's going to do that very comfortably indeed. Second place, Natasha Simpson, another distance freestyle specialist who is comfortably going to come in second. So 2:06.41 for Katie. And again, you feel that she could press it. She pressed it pretty hard in the first half. That was obviously the game plan there, to go out hard, see how she feels, and then ease her way through to lane 4 in the finals tonight.
Yeah, not looking too stressed there, Katie, I don't think. You know, even split over those last two 50s. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. I hope she does enter the final this evening. She'll be looking for those points for her team as well, I'm sure. But good to see her in the 200 free. Elise Cousins coming through to take third there. More used to perhaps to seeing her swimming in the 50s and 100s. But a strong freestyler. She's been entering medleys and doing other events at this championships as well. Good swim from her. So shall I do the top 5?
Yeah, go on.
Let's do the top 5. In 5th place, on 379.5 points, the team from University of Aberdeen. In 4th place, on 413 points, Perth City. What a good meet they've had. East Lothian swim team, we've spoken about them already, and their really strong performances. They broke the Scottish junior record, the national junior record, and the club junior record in the 4x100 freestyle last night. That was a great swim, beating their previous record holders, West Lothian, by a full 4 seconds. Anyway, they've got 628.5 points in 3rd place, East Lothian. In second place, it's the team from Warren de Bath, 856, and City of Glasgow. In the front, 1,073 points.
So City of Glasgow broken the 1,000-point barrier, but the lineup here: Luke Garrity, Dan Hall, Lewis Muir, Lewis Hassan, Finlay Sang, Jaden Chan, Evan Boyd, Taylor Sinclair, Callum McLaughlin, Ollie Weavers, and it's almost going to the form, but Finlay Sang certainly leading the way in lane 4, but then it's lane 3, Lewis Hassan of Stirling. So it's Glasgow, Stirling, 1-2 it looks like, and maybe at lane 7 I think it's going to take third, Taylor Sinclair of Elgin, and that is the 1-2-3. Finlay getting under the minute, I think probably for the first time long course, and nicely done to him. Entered 1:00.55, and there you can see his time, 59.88 to take the first heat.
Yeah, one of those barriers that you just want to get rid of, that minute for the 100 of anything, really, I guess.
Yeah, do it short course and then rapidly do it long course is just the way to go.
Right, so moving on to Heat 2 then, in lane 0, David Landman, City of Glasgow, 1, Adam Thompson, Kilmarnock. In 2, Rojas Cringelis from North Lanarkshire Swim Team. Lane 3, Fraser Tetlow Geary. 4, Ewan Mitchell, South Lanarkshire. In 5, David Traynor, South Ayrshire. Lane 6, Jack Lorimer, Itham. In 7, Lewis Gray, Inverclyde. 8, Dylan McCombie, South Aberdeenshire. And in lane 9, Tom Armitage, Highland Swim. Taking it out in 3, Fraser Tetlow. In the yellow cap of Geary. We more commonly see them in blue caps, but wearing a yellow one today. Oh, strong. Strong second half to that 50 in lane 7, Lewis Gray, Inverclyde. And it's him that touches first in 27.63.
Yeah, Lewis looking really good here. Very aggressive attack to his swim. And it's hard, I think, now to see anybody come after him in the final quarter of the race. Let's see if somebody can. Making a bit of a move now, Ewan Mitchell of South Lanarkshire in lane 4. Lane 1 is not too far away, Adam Thompson of Kilmarnock, but no doubt about the winner, Lewis Gray there, 58.28 for him, down from 59.7 entry time, so the improvements keep on coming.
No, it was a good swim from Lewis Gray, not the quickest away, but certainly aggressive throughout the rest of the race, and 58.28 is his reward.
Dylan McCombie in second and Jack Lorimer in third. 5 swimmers in that one going under the minute. There's the lineup for heat number 3. Aaron Brown of Elgin in 0. Shawnside Griffiths of Warrender in 1. Ben Montgomery of Stirling in 2. Richard Laws of Cooper in 3. Alex Wiseman, City of Stoke in 4. Cameron Gill and Bailey McGinley going 5 and 6 for first. Mano Drysdale of Warrender in 7. Jack Mitchell of Aberdeen Performance in 8. And Lewis Austin back for a second swim goes in lane 9 for Highland.
Lane 7 again, I think. Mano Drysdale, Warrender Bath swimmer.
I think it's his second swim as well, because a lot of these swimmers will double up 200 IM and 100 freestyle. That would be a popular combination. Up at the top of your screen, Rowan Brown is in the mix, just 1500ths behind Mano. Not quite as fast as Lewis Gray's split, but that could change in the second half, of course. Shawnside Griffiths, another Warrender swimmer, he's up there in lane 1. Plenty of swimmers pretty close here. Is it in lane 1? I think it might be Sean who's going to edge this one, or maybe it's lane 9. Let's see who gets the touch. It is Lewis from lane 9, 58.62 against Shawnside Griffiths, 58.73. It's interesting there because Lewis is split slightly slower than Shaw's, but he was definitely faster in that last 5. So he saved his energy right to when it really mattered in those last few meters to claim the heat win. So well done, Lewis.
Yeah, the finish, something that's perhaps not practiced as much as it should be, but putting your head down at the end and really powering through towards the finish when you're really under stress because you're tired. Such an important part of the race, and Lewis there took the benefit of that just in the final 5 meters, as you say. And next up, we have heat 4. So in the water now, Gregor Skinner from first in 0. Alex Black first in lane 1. In lane 2, Archie Smith, Aberdeen Dolphins. In 3, Jamie Glenn, North Lanarkshire Swim Team. 4, Connor Mitchell, Warren de Bath. In 5, Calvin MacDonald, Aberdeen Performance. Lane 6, Ben Smallwood, Kinross. Another swimmer from Kinross in lane 7, Hayden McKenzie. In lane 8, Logan van der Meulen, Sterling Swim. And in 9, Robbie Boyd, Warren de Bath. We've seen some really strong back ends from Logan van der Meulen in this 100. I think he's done really well. I say there was a smashing relay 100 free that he did not last night. I think it was the night before, was it, that we saw those?
Something slightly funny coming on with the electronics there, but I think it was Ben Smallwood turning first 27.28 in lane 6. So ignore that 24.62 that's on your screen. That will need a little bit of sorting out. We obviously got a bad touch somehow along the line, but coming up strongly in lane 3 to take the win, Jamie Glenn, 57.79 for him.
Yeah, coming through really strong at the finish there. I think the Kinross swimmer just ran out of steam towards the end, Ben Swarmard.
Jamie's done that a few times this week. I remember him doing that in earlier heat swims, really finishing strongly, attacking that finish, and gets the reward there with a win by a quarter of a second over Gregor and Ben, and Logan van der Meulen just 200ths away from Ben's time. So high 57 to low 58s there, all of them inside their edge times, the top 4.
So moving on to heat 5 in 0, Lucas Johnson, Aberdeen Performance. 1, Kane Buchanan, Dundee City Aquatics. Lane 2, Adam Curry, North Ayrshire. In 3, Marcus Blake, City of Glasgow. In 4, Kieran Lennox, Aberdeen Performance. 5, Fionn Maguire from Heart of Midlothian. In 6, Edward Bell again from Seagulls. In 7, Jack Simpson, South Lanarkshire. Lane 8, Adam Scott, City of Glasgow. And in lane 9, Fraser Baird, Scotia. And Kieran Lennox, I was just going to say, he put in a cracking performance last night, didn't he? Really exciting and fast at the finish. But Kieran Lennox taking it out there. His entry time 57.75, just ahead of the rest of the swimmers, because there's really nothing in it on these entry times. But Kieran Lennox looking really powerful coming down this second length, and it was a great turn that he had there as well. In 6, Edward Bell.
Well, we saw that great freestyle back end to his IM earlier, and so they'll be looking to push on. Kane Buchanan going nicely up in lane 1. He's another swimmer who's had a good meet for Dundee City Aquatics. It looks like it's between these 3, but I think Kane is the one who's really attacking this second half and takes the win, 57.21. Half a second faster than the previous heat and 7/10 faster than his entry time. So nice swim from Kane once again. He's swimming in the 15-year-old age group, so we'll see where that puts him in the 15-year-old rankings. Edward Bell taking second, Kieran Lennox taking third.
Yeah, Kane's entry time from this Festival of Swimming last year, we've seen quite a few times. We see the swims from the Festival of Swimming have been carried through to snags, because the swimmers haven't had the chance to do these long course races necessarily in the intervening period, or maybe that was just their focus last year. That was all there was last year, really, wasn't it? Was that Festival of Swimming.
Yes,
but
right.
Good to see those improvements and swimmers coming down in time. Next up we have, is this heat 6? Yeah, heat 6. In 0, Conrad Slesser, Aberdeen Performance. 1, Leighton Burr, Aberdeen Performance. Aberdeen Dolphins, swimmer Callum Gould in 2. In 3, Jonah Turnbull, Midlothian. 4, Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow. 5, John Mackay from Perth City. In 6, John Torin Liversedge, South Aberdeenshire. 7, Matthew McMillan, Incas. In 8, Lewis Moyer, South Lanarkshire. And 9, Ben King, Milgay and Bearston. And he's storming down there in lane 9, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty close, along with the other outside lane, Conrad Slesser, going well. And in lane 3, Midlothian's Jonah Turnbull. And it's between these 3. I think Jonah, well, it's going to be tight. Is it going to be Jonah? Yes, it is. 56.52. 3/4 of a second, roughly, ahead of the previous heat. And another good PB, 7/10 improvement for Jonah, entered on a 57.2. So it takes that down to 56.5. Conrad, good strong swim from the outside lane. He also has a nice PB of just about a second. Ben King in third place there. So outside lanes going well in that heat.
Our final deck-seeded heat is heat number 7 in lane 0, Fergus Curry, Mclean, Bearsden. Cian Hampson from Warren de Bath Club goes in 1, in 2 Zach Slater, East Lothian. In 3, Cole Morrison, Stirling Swim. 4, Callum Sinclair, West Lothian. In 5, David Smith, Glen Rothes. 6, Sam Moore, South Ayrshire. And in 7, Fergus Woodward, Portobello. In 8, Luke Porteous, East Lothian. And in lane 9, Ewan Beattie, Warren de Bath Club. Lane 2, do you think? Zach Slater, East Lothian. Strong start for him.
Yeah, part of that 4x100 freestyle relay that you were talking about earlier, Lynn, but he's not leading at the moment. No times coming up on the board, but very tight. It looked like it was down at the bottom of your screen. In fact, it was Ewan Beattie. The time's now coming up 26:57. Ewan Beattie just with the touch, and well, certainly the two down at the bottom. Luke Porteous, who had a very good 200 IM, is back again with a good swim here. He's up for it this morning, isn't he? Look at him. He takes the win. This time he's wearing his East Lothian cap, not his Musselburgh cap, so maybe he got some a wee word of advice from his coach about that. But certainly, however you call it, he's on good form this morning, over a second inside his entry time. Ewan Beattie second, and Fergus Woodward, who's another who's having a cracking meet for Portobello, takes third. So the first, sorry,
No,
Lynn.
no, no.
After you,
no,
Lynn.
no.
After you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go on then. In heat number 8, in 0, Jake Gibson, Brock. In 1, Greer van der Meulen, Stirling Swim. Lane 2, Micah van Blerk, Warren de Bath Club. In 3, Callum Peebles, East Lothian. In 4, Evan Davidson, Perth City. 5, Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphins. 6, Alex Thompson, Warren de Bath Club. In 7, Brodie Gordon Gibson, Warren de Bath. In 8, Ruben Kelly, Dumfries. And in lane 9, Joe Carter, Delting. That Tom Robertson, we have already seen him in this morning, haven't we? Looking really good there, touching first at halfway, 25.8 for Tom.
Yeah, so going into cycle seeded heats, you'd expect it to be faster, and it is indeed. Tom just holding off Ewan Davidson at the moment. So again, we talked about Ewan. Ewan maybe just coming up alongside him just about now. So two of them in different age groups, but having a good race there. And in the end, Tom just holding off Evan by 300s, 53.90 and 53.93.
So Tom matching his entry time exactly. He won the North District age groups and performed really well up there. You're more used to seeing him swimming the butterfly, but good to see him in that 100 free there and just pipping out Evan Davidson.
We're getting news of a swim-off that's going to come at the end of the session. It's going to be in the 200 freestyle and the 15-year-olds. I need to just have a look and see. I think it's for second reserve, it looks like, in the 15-year-olds. We've got a joint 12th, so they probably won't get a swim tonight. So a good opportunity for a second swim for them. It's going to be Katie Barron and Zoe Crawford. So that's one to look forward to.
Yeah, 200 free, quite a long event to have a swim off for. Of course, it can be decided in other ways. Sometimes a toss of a coin, but there's got to be agreement. And obviously these swimmers and their coaches have elected to have a swim off for that place.
It makes sense, given it's for second reserve. They probably won't swim again this evening, so why not have another go and see if you can ramp up your time. So 25.28, the first turn. The lineup here, Dylan Cashmore in 0, Kieran Brackenser in 1, Cameron Creaney in 2, William Storr in 3, Rory McKinnon leading in 4, Murray Pritchard in 5, Jack Murphy in 6, Callum Dunn in 7, Cedar Gullen in 8, and Finley Nelson in lane 9. And it is still just about Rory, but not by too much. The swimmers either side of him. Just
Lovely shot of the coaches there.
Yep. Rory then taking it 53.24, so that's 6 or 7 tenths faster than the previous heat.
Yeah, Murray Pritchard in second, and William Storr, a South Aberdeenshire swimmer. He swims with Bankery, just coming through to take third there. He's pretty speedy on the short distances as William. Gets a good start and strong push off from the wall. Good to see him up there with the big boys.
So the final heat there, I think Stefan Kravis will maybe have a point to prove after that disqualification going in lane 4, but full lineup: Ewan Allen, City of Chester in 0, Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow in 1, Ben Kelly of Warrender in 2, Lucas Brown of Elgin in 3, then it's Stefan Kravis of East Lothian in 4, Fenley Club, Aberdeen Dolphin in 5, Finn Bremner of Warrender in 6, Scott Fleming, South Lanarkshire in 7, John Taylor of Aberdeen Performance in 8, and Adam Ritchie, Warrender Baths in lane 9.
And look at Lucas Brown go. Elgin swimmer, more used to seeing him swim in the backstroke. We've seen particularly strong starts for him in the backstroke. Really strong over the 50 and on the 100. Great to see him leading this one out. Really powerful swim there, touching first 25.8 at halfway. And looks like he's bringing it home, actually, Lucas Brown.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be caught. The Warrender swimmer Finn Bremner in lane 6, just edging second at the moment. Stefan Kravis pretty much up there with him now, but Lucas Brown taking it comfortably, 53.93. So Stefan, I think, deciding that discretion is the better part of valor in that last one. Just get himself through to the 16-year-old final, and let's see what he can do tonight. Let's wait for confirmation of this one.
Yeah, if that's confirmed, that's the best time for Lucas Brown. Only 4th in the North District age groups, but the way that it operates in the North District is that it's 16 and over, so competing against some of our sweet senior swimmers.
So we'll see there the run through of all of the times. And they'll get split into their respective age groups. If you look at Meet Mobile or on www.swimscotland.org.uk, you can see all the respective placings by age group. So check that out and see if your favourite swimmer has progressed through to tonight's final. It's 100 breaststroke coming up next for the girls. And we've got 10 heats once again. We seem to be rattling pretty well through the heats this morning. Of course, we do have 800 later on, so settle down when we get to that. In the hundreds now, and then we got 50s following that. That's your lineup for heat number 1. Grace Prain, Dundee City Aquatics, Ella Wood. Not seen too many from Forfar this week, so great to see Ella here. Zoe Matchett of North Ayrshire in 2, Emma Chambers, North Lanarkshire in 3, Bethany Irvin of Lerwick in 4, Beth Hunter of Wren 96 in 5, Freya Howie of Tiger Sharks in 6, Susia Smith of First in 7, Tia Aitken of Aberdeen Performance in 8, Simone Finlayson, Dundee City Aquatics, going in lane 9. 125 to 126, the entry times here.
Yeah, good start off the block from Bethany Irvin from Lerwick, but she hasn't got into her stroke quite as well as the two swimmers we can see in the yellow caps. Freya Howie, Tiger Sharks, really moving through, and it was just on that transition there because Bethany Irvin did have the best start.
Yeah, Freya's really taken it by the scruff of the neck, hasn't she? She is well clear at the halfway mark. 37.46. If she can keep this sort of pace going, she's going to absolutely smash her entry time. She's nearly 2.5 seconds clear of Beth Hunter, Zusia Smith. See their determination etched into Freya's face there. And there's absolutely no sign anyone's going to get anywhere close to her. So the Tiger Shark swimmer is really sorting this one out. Through past the 15 flags. The battle is about second place, lane 2, Zoe Matchett of North Ayrshire. I think maybe just has it from the Wren swimmer Beth Hunter, but this is all about Freya Howie. 123.17. We just faded a bit in the latter stages there, but still a very nice PB, and well, gave it everything down the first 50, and that was what set up that good PB
Yeah, I love the way that swimmers can come in through and only just manage to sneak into these Scottish national age groups and smash it, absolutely smash it. Maybe only having a couple of swims, not like the swimmers in the more seeded heats and things like that. They're quite busy, but you can just come along and smash your one swim or your two swims that you've got, and Freya Howie certainly did that. She did drift in towards the end, just glided in at the finish. I think that her coach will have a word with her and say maybe you should have snuck in a little other stroke or adjusted your stroke on the approach to the wall, and that will come down even more. But good for her, 2 seconds off her entry time. So heat number 2 in 0, Elizabeth Morgan Highland, 1 Sarah Wood Eithan. In lane 2, Victoria Gabrowska from Western Bartonshire. In 3, Natalie Cooper, Warren de Bath. 4, Isabel Kendall, Stirling Swim. 5, Zara Denson, Monifieth. 6, Iona Henderson, South Lanarkshire. In 7, Lily McCarry from Wren 96. In 8, Amy Fotheringham, North Lanarkshire. And in lane 9, Leah Payton, Eithan. So in the previous heat, we saw our winner coming quicker than any of the entry times we've got here, so they're going to have to go under their entry times if they want to be the fastest through in this early heat. Most of the swimmers, in fact all the swimmers aged 15 and 16, we've got another swimmer smashing it out in front in lane 4, Isabel Kendall, Stirling Swim.
Yep, she was about 7-8 tenths faster than Freya at the halfway mark, so we're looking for another good, and she looks to be quite well controlled here, just nice steady rhythm to her swim. Close affair for second place. The Eithan swimmer Sarah Wood is certainly up there, but others are as well. Victoria Grabowska, and then in lane 9, or lane 8 rather, Amy Fotheringham, but no doubt about the winner, Isabel Kendall, 1:21.81, so that's another nice PB of 2 seconds. Just wait for the official confirmation, but we're expecting to see Amy Fotheringham second, and there she is, 1:24.44, and Sarah Wood taking third, just ahead of Victoria Grabowska and Natalie Cooper. Heat 3, we've got Evie Judge of Kintyre in 0, Katie Caldwell in 1 for Kirkintilloch, Amy McAlonan of Wren 96 in 2, Kira Hart of Scotia in 3, Emma McGavin of South Lanarkshire in 4, Casey Drummond of Incas in 5, Iona Casapidis of Carnegie in 6, Lexine McCappin of First in 7, Eden Fraser of Aberdeen Performance in 8, Bronwyn Payne of Best in lane 9.
And Katie Caldwell from Kirkintilloch just flew off the blocks there, really fast start. Also doing well, Bronwyn Payne from Best in lane 9, and now coming through, it's the Incas cap in lane 6, Iona Casapidis. I think she's just about going to touch first at halfway.
I think you've touched on 5 sensitivities there, because Iona is Carnegie, the near neighbours of Incas. So
yeah, there were neighbours on the start sheet as well, so I just picked up the wrong thing. It was funny because I was going to say in the Carnegie cap, and then I don't know. Anyway,
hope there's no civil war in the Kingdom of Fife on the back of that. But,
well, she's swimming very well.
She is. So this is going to be a tight one here. We saw emphatic victories in the first 2 heats. It's not so much the case here. Lane 2, though, Amy McAlonan of Wren 96, perhaps showing the strongest second half, and I think she's going to take it. Casey Drummond perhaps is going to edge second. She is the Inca swimmer here, and so close for third. In fact, Bronwyn Payne just getting second from lane 9. But good stuff from Amy there, taking the win, and some enthusiastic Wren 96 support to my left-hand side, so they were happy about that. We'll just wait for confirmation, but here it comes, and unfortunately we do have disqualification. So you said she was lightning quick off the blocks. I wonder if it may be just too lightning quick off the blocks there, but good win there for Amy.
I didn't see the reaction times, and she was super speedy into the water, so perhaps that's where it was. Anyway, we're on to heat number 4 already. In lane 0, Ellie Craig Collins, Warren de Bath. In 1, Hannah Stoll from Cooper. Lane 2, Ella Chalmers, Eithan. In 3, Amy Owenson, Best. In 4, Cassie Wiper, City of Glasgow. In 5, Katie Simpson, Heart of Midlothian. In lane 6, from East Lothian, Iona Wilson. 7, Madison Gallagher, First. 8, Grace Harley, East Lothian. And in lane 9, Katie Broadfoot. South Ayrshire. I do think everybody should have different colour caps. It would be much easier. I love the Dundee City Aquatics pink caps. They're very recognisable. Mind you, they've been sharing their pink colour, haven't they, this year with the relay caps that University of Aberdeen are using. Anyway, first to the wall in lane 6, Iona Wilson, 37.13, East Lothian cap there. Second, perhaps now, Keira Simpson, Heart of Midlothian.
Yep, looks that way. Iona Wilson, a stalwart of the East Lothian programme, is looking to hold her own. Don't particularly think of her as a 100 breaststroker, but let's see if she can hold on here. She went out hard, and now I think it is about hanging on. There's 4 swimmers trying to catch her. Lanes 1, 2, 3 and 5, but I think she is going to see them off and take the win in 1:21.52, so good 6/10 inside her entry time. Nicely done, Iona, Youth Academy member.
Yeah, these times are starting to creep down now, aren't they? We've just seen a second faster each time they've gone into the water. And it's interesting to see how the swimmers are feeding off the success of their teammates. I think success breeds success. We shouldn't underestimate the importance of psychology, being a part of a team. That can really help to bring swimmers on to their best performances. And watching your teammates being successful in the pool just gives you that little edge to be able to go out there with confidence and come home in a good time.
Yeah. Took a while to get that confirmed result through, so I was a little nervous that there might have been a DQ, but no, there wasn't, so that's good. And we get ready for heat number 5.
So in heat 5 in lane 0 we have Hannah Edmonston from City of Glasgow, 1 Caitlin Heaney, East Lothian, lane 2 Caris Mooney, City of Glasgow, in lane 3 Brooke Rogerson, Dumfries, in 4 Rosie Murison, City of Glasgow, in 5 Hayley McNair, Mulgai and Bearsden, 6 Lucia Baivar Seguidara from East Lothian, in lane 7 Eddie MacArthur, Mulgai and Bearsden, in lane 8 Ava Kirkham first, and in lane 9 Lauren Anderson, Falthouse.
Ava Kirkham out well for first in lane 8, but others pretty close to her. So this one is shaping up to be very competitive indeed. Another East Lothian swimmer in the mix there at the front. That's Lucia Bivar Segurado, another stalwart of the team, but it is Ava 38.29 turning first. Ava Kirkham, third in the West District pre-Stags meet, will be looking to push on hard in the second half here, because still the pressure is on her.
I think she's still holding it though, coming down into this final 25. They are all lining up behind her. We've got a really strong, fast last 25 in lane 5 though. Ailey McNair, Mulgai and Bearsden looking good towards the final 10 metres or so. I think she is just going to hold it though. She's led from the beginning. Ava Kirkham from first, just in there. 1:22.49 Ava Kirkham. Second place it was Caris Mooney coming through into second place.
So Ava taking the win there. A good second half from Caris Mooney. Again, just taking a little while to get the confirmed result up, but hopefully there's no complications, and no there aren't. So Caris second, Ailey McNair third. The official result from Ava Kirkham taking the win. On to heat number 6. Molly Cannon of Inverclyde in 0. Gabriella Winton of Arbroath St Thomas in 1. Amelia Ray of Ren 96 in 2. Emma Simpson of Broch in 3. Sophie Portier of Warrender in 4. Lucy Nimmo of North Lanarkshire in lane 5. Eleanor Ross of Highland in 6. Ailey Galt of Eithon in 7. Millie Donachie of South Lanarkshire in 8. And Taylor Smith of St Thomas in lane 9.
A strong start in the outside lanes. Molly Cannon, Inverclyde, and Taylor Smith from St Thomas.
But just starting to push through now in lane 5. There's Lucy Nimmo. Just looking at that cap. That's not a North Lanarkshire normal cap, is it?
I think we've seen a few red caps from them this time, and maybe competing in their individual club caps, perhaps. North Lanarkshire usually in a darker cap, isn't it, with an NL on it.
Yeah. We'll maybe get a chance to have a closer look at that as we go through. Still very much up there is Molly Cannon in lane 0. We were talked earlier about Inverclyde's breaststroke pedigree, and Molly is demonstrating that. I was yearning for lane 0 wins in the earlier days of competition. We're very close to getting one here. It's going to be really tight at the finish. The Warrender swimmer really finishing strongly, Sophie Portier, and she just nudges it in the end. Now, good swim from her. 1:20.53. 41.8 was her second 50 there. Taking it by a 10th from Molly Cannon and Eleanor Ross in third. And just looking at that cap, I think it's a Bells Hill Sharks cap that
Yes.
Missy Nimmo's wearing.
Yeah.
So that explains that little mystery.
Yeah, so Bells Hill Sharks, one of the club members of that composite. And yes, that explains the mystery. 8-7 then. In lane 0, Alyssa Goodbrand Eithan. In lane 1, Amy Bell Midlothian. In 2, Holly Lumsden, Heart of Midlothian. Lane 3, Amelia Mardell Ulverston. In 4, Ella McGeorge Cooper. In 5, Rowan Saunders, Heart of Midlothian. 6, Abigail Thompson Kingston. In lane 7, Leah Bullock from South Lanarkshire. In 8, Tegan Black East Lothian. And in lane 9, Erica Watt, Heart of Midlothian. The blue cap, I think, of South Lanarkshire, Leah Bullock. Just in front. Very close though. Not a strong push there in lane 0 from Alyssa Goodbrand. Good to see lane 0 doing well. It's still the South Lanarkshire swimmer, Leah Bullock. I think just got her nose out in front.
Yeah, winner in the West District Pre-Stags meet. And again, we've got a good solid swim coming in from lane 0. Alyssa Goodbrand getting a nice close-up there of the two blue cap swimmers, Leah and Abigail. But I think the action might be over on the far side here. Alyssa Goodbrand really pushing this one on, and this time we are going to see the win coming out of lane 0 pretty convincingly. That was a lovely swim from Alyssa, 1:18.21. So I think she'll be pretty happy with that. Entered 1:19.70, so second half inside her entry time. Abigail Thompson of Kingston taking second, and Amy Bell in third. All changed there in the second half.
Yeah, Alyssa did have a strong first 50, but she came back really hard on the second. Eithan produce a lot of good breaststroke swimmers. Their coach Barry Gould working hard with a good group of girls and young men as well at the moment.
So line up for Heat 8. We've got Jessica Schultz of Perth City in 0, Isla MacDonald of Highland in 1, Freya Masson of Shetland in 2, Adi Robertson of South Ayrshire in 3, Erin Taylor of Finns in 4, Nuala Gow of Geary in 5, then 3 Warrender swimmers, Sophie Hall, May Rogers, Hayley Stewart, and in lane 9 from Guildford, Sophie Maguire. Good strong start in lane 6, that's Sophie Hall. Keep your eyes on a couple of 200 breaststroke gold medalist Erin Taylor of Finns, and the 50 breaststroke gold medalist Adi Robertson of South Ayrshire. See how they go in the second half. Sophie Hall leading them through the halfway mark, 34.89.
So Nuala Gow starting to push her way through. Much better over the longer distances of the breaststroke, Nuala. I don't think she's going to catch Erin Taylor, but she's really given it a good go down this second length. She needs another couple of lengths, really, Nuala Gow, doesn't she?
Well, Erin also probably more in a 200 than a 100 breaststroker, but so the two 200 specialists leading the way here in the 100, and it's going to be Erin from the Finns team based in Kirkcaldy. Takes the win, 40.19 from Nuala, 1:15.72 for her. So 2 good 1:15 splits there, or times there I should say, for the 2 leading contenders. So a little bit off their entry times, but as you would expect, but getting the job done. Hayley Robertson taking third, 1:17.59. Watch out for her in the 15-year-old final later on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the entry times here, but the breaststroke perhaps not as fast as we've seen in previous years, or maybe the swimmers are taking a little bit longer to develop. Certainly in the North District, well, and the East as well, I suppose. We can look to Cara Hanlon and the success that she's had in winning the breaststroke events down at the British Championships. But we've still got a little way to go with some of these swimmers before they're going to reach those heady heights. But Cara, developed in the North District on an island, no less, and really taking the opportunity at Edinburgh University to develop those skills further and to do so well at the moment.
Yeah, because these swimmers have had so much time out the water. It's really just the elite swimmers who managed to get good water time during lockdown. So we'll see how this goes. The lineup for this heat: Perry Scobby, Charlotte Thompson, Fern Crichton, Kirsty Neal, Charlotte Hardy, Chloe Bound, Naomi Maguire, Katie Coventry, Martha Rees and Rebecca Cole. And it is Charlotte Hardy setting the pace here at 34.37. 50 split, and I can't see her being caught. Kirsty Neal is having a good meet up from Bishop Stortford, is in second place. Lane 6, Naomi Maguire from City of Leicester. That's the 1-2-3. Charlotte taking the win, 1:13.38, so that's the time to beat for the final heat. Took that out very hard there, entered 1:13.6, so quite unusual for improvement on the entry time for one of these seeded lane 4 swimmers in the final 3 heats. So well done, Charlotte.
Yeah, I see she swam at the Edinburgh International, so she has had opportunity to improve on her times from last year. But yeah, really exciting seeing her swimming that 1:13.38 with room for improvement this evening. That's a final to look forward to. Just 15 as well in South Ayrshire.
Yeah, based in Millfield, so of course they've got fantastic facilities down there, 50-metre pool, and so couldn't really ask for a better training environment. Last heat then of the 100 breaststroke, we've got Amy Armstrong of East Lothian, Sarah McNaughton of Warrender, Anna de Grosser of Best, Keira Davidson, City of Glasgow, Amy Watson of Inverclyde, Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatics, Thanrada McGregor of Warrender, Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow, Yasmin Ali, Warrender, and Katie Brennan of North Lanarkshire. Trio of swimmers coming to the turn, just led by Amy Watson, 34.40, pretty much the same time as we saw from Charlotte. And only 100th between her and Keira Davidson.
Keira Davidson having a good meet here, representing the City of Glasgow and looking pretty powerful actually against classic breaststroker Amy Watson from Inverclyde. We spoke about the pedigree, but it's City of Glasgow. I think it's Keira Davidson. She's looking really strong down this final 25 metres. Moving ahead now, in fact, so her entry time 1:14.44, outside what we've seen previous weeks, but and it is 1:14.79. Keira Davidson very close to her entry time. Won the pre-snags meet, perhaps that's given her a bit of confidence, and that should see her through to the final this evening.
Yeah, Amy Watson taking second there, and Lucy de Grosser, Anna de Grosser rather, taking third place. In fact it was Lucy Stowe's Dundee City Aquatics taking third. She must have come through strongly. Came under the radar as far as I was concerned anyway. Well done, Lucy. Another one who's having a really good set of swims this week. So now we go to the first of our sprints, and that is the boys 50 backstroke. We've again got 10 heats to go in this once we've finished scrolling through the summary of everyone's performances in that breaststroke. Now, we've had some issues with our 50s this week, I'm afraid, with some of the electronics. So started off from the scoreboard end earlier in the week, and then things were going wrong with the starting equipment there, so we've moved to start at the normal end and go up to the scoreboard. And then last night we were getting some problems with the touchpad, so touch wood, everything will be fine tonight. Let's hope so. Tonight, this morning, and tonight, and this afternoon for that matter. Let's hope we got a nice clean day with all of that today in this final day of these championships. But it's going to be fast and furious. You can see there, first of the 10 heats, Muir Mitchell, Samuel Beetham, Keir Sanson, Lewis Muir, Calder Murphy, Richard Laws, Dan Hall, Oliver Cairns, Callum McLaughlin and Rowan Geary.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. Lucas Brown, the fastest entry. We watched him swim a storming 100 free. And of course in the 50 backstroke we've seen 2 swimmers meet the qualifying time, the nomination time for the Commonwealth Games. And Scott Gibson and Martin Walton. So we look forward to see whether or not they are put forward as nominees to Commonwealth Games Scotland and whether or not they are accepted by Commonwealth Games Scotland as entries into the Commonwealth Games.
I'm sure they will be. But, here we've got a pretty dominant swim, lane 5, Richard Laws of Cooper. So that's a big win for a 50, 30.7. It's a big PB as well. So nicely done by Richard. Entered 32.4, take that down to 30.7. Thank you very much, that'll do nicely.
Yeah, right. Good first race there.
Told you about the swim off that was happening at the end of the session. Well, it isn't anymore, so they've obviously resolved things in another way.
Perhaps they did rock, paper, scissors.
Best of 3, best of 5.
Oh. What was it for a 200? Best of 5.
Oh yeah, I think so. This is serious.
Heat 2. I can't remember if you've read out the names, Duncan, have you? You have. Excellent.
So we haven't read these ones out, though. So Bailey McGinley, Lewis McCarroll, Ben Smallwood, Benji Jeffries, Lewis Husson, Adam Thompson, Marcus Blake, Roddy Heron, Nathan Wilson, Lewis Gray. Lane 3, Benji Jeffries, South Ayrshire, who looks to have the advantage, but not by, certainly not as much as Richard Laws did in the previous heat, and it's going to be pretty close at the finish, but Benji does take it. Just 200ths in the end from Ben Smallwood, who was coming hard at him in the closing stages.
Yeah, strong second half of that race for Marcus Blake as well. City of Glasgow coming through to take 3rd.
So Benji is the man on that one. Entered 32.09. Comes in 31.09. So we do this in 1 second increments. Keep doing that for a while. Well, he'll soon be right up there.
Heat 3 then? I'll do this one. In lane 0, Oliver Patton, Inverclyde. 1, David Traynor, South Ayrshire. 2, Evan Boyd, Kilmarnock. 3, Rory Webster, Montefieth. 4, Kyle Wong, City of Glasgow. 5, Michael Skakel, Inverleith. In lane 6, Conor Brearley, Dundee City Aquatic. 7, Rowan Brown, Elgin. Lane 8, Fraser Donaldson, Mulgine, Bearsden. And in lane 9, Jake Cadger from Iton. Lane 4, looking good. Kyle Wong, City of Glasgow. So half a body length up just now, and the rest really battling back towards him now. In 5, Michael Skakel, Inverleith. So Kyle Wongo taking that one, 30.86, not managing a full second up. In second place, Michael Skakel, 31.26. Third home, Rory Webster, 31.46.
Yeah, you can't really complain about a 7/10 improvement, though. I think Kyle will be happy to take that.
I'm sure he will. Set a high bar, though, in the previous heat, wasn't it?
So these are going to be tight, I'm sure, all the way through these heats. There's not going to be too much between them as they come in. This is heat 4. David Lamban, Lucas Johnson, Stuart Pritchard, Logan Scally, Fraser Stewart, Andrew Smitten, Stuart McFarlane, Carl Muirhead, Ollie Weavers and Cole Morrison, all 31-1 up, or 31-0 actually, up to 31.5 the entry times. So can we see getting close to the 30 seconds? If somebody really blitzed it, could they get under? That's perhaps a bit of an ask at this stage. Lane 6 is going nicely early on. Struan McFarlane going for Sterling swim. Again, not wearing a typical cap for a Sterling swimmer.
What's going on?
Yeah. but he's going to win it. 30.57, nice stuff there. Again, just around a half a second of an improvement, so take that. Fastest we've seen so far.
Yeah, second in lane 2, Stuart Pritchard, looking good, Kinross swimmer as well. Just sorting out a couple of the times there, not quite resolved on the touches of the pads.
Yeah, Pritchard's, I think Murray Pritchard now swims with Perth, I think started his journey in Kinross. There's been a few, I think, make that journey. I'm thinking of Jack Munsey as an example, of course now at the University of Stirling, one of our performance athletes that made the journey from Kinross to Perth and now to Stirling.
Heat 5 then, in 0, Caelan Milne, 1, Matthew Heasley, 2, Luke Porteous, 3, Archie Smith, 4, Caelan Johnson, 5, Dylan McCombie, and 6, Sam Moore, 7, Jack Doherty Simpson in lane 8, Jonah Turnbull, and 9 is Mano Drysdale. Not much in it off the starts. Not much in it at all, Duncan.
No, this is really tight. We've seen some cracking swims from Luke Porteous. So far, he's his third swim in the morning. He's won, I think, both the heats so far. Is in the mix, but I don't think he's going to win this one. Oh, I'm wrong. He did. 30.09, so well done, Luke. 3 swims, 3 good PBs this morning, so very nicely done, Mr. Porteous.
Yeah, could be that there's the benefit of that psychological element we spoke about. You know, the team is doing really well, perhaps exceeding expectation. You know, even though those team events were the 14 to 16 year age group, and it is those youth swimmers that are really pulling the team through. But Luke hanging on in there for the 18-year-old swimmers as well. So they've got a good spread of different swimmers in East Lothian, performing really well at these championships. On to Heat 6 then. In 0, Charlie McLaren, 1, Robbie Carlisle, 2, Lewis Austin, 3, Logan van der Meulen, 4, James Cowdrey, 5, Saida Gulen, 6, Tom Ingalls, 7, Tom Armitage, 8, Edward Bell, and 9, Zach Slater.
So I mentioned a few of these swimmers and dispatches in the earlier events, and Edward Bell certainly one of them. He's going well in 8, but now looks like lane 3, Logan van der Meulen, is perhaps the one that is going to come through and take this. In fact, he is pretty comfortably. So good, strong swim, nice dip into the wall to take his finish, and we're now going under the 30 seconds. 2 swimmers doing it there, but well, in style for Logan. Entered 30.30, goes down to 29.16. Really nice stuff there. Robson Miles also getting under the 30, 29.92 for him, and tie for third in that one. Cedar Gullen and Edward Bell both on 30.42.
Yeah, so Logan 2 medals so far in this meet, the 100 backstroke and the 50 free, perhaps 50 back, his best event.
He certainly looked good there, didn't he?
He did. Heat 7 then, in 0, Blair McCain, 1, Keane Smith, 2, Jack Mackay, 3, Calvin McDonald, 4, Robbie Thompson, 5, Liam Koczynski, 6, Torin Liversedge, 7, Sean Sy Griffiths, 8, Lex Carrott, and in lane 9, Joe Carter.
So lane 8, Lee Garrett, the South Ayrshire, I think is going to bring this one in from Calvin McDonald in lane 3, so that is the 1-2, both of them getting under the 30 as well. Third place, Robbie Thompson, 30.13. So nice stuff there from lane 8 for Lex Garrett, the South Ayrshire swimmer.
Good show. So our cyclically seeded heats, heat number 8, 0 Cameron Doran, 1 Adam Scott, 2 Callum Peebles, 3 Adam Brodie, 4 Callum Rose, 5 Owen Carroll, 6 Dylan Cashmore, 7 Ewan Beatty. Lane 8 Ethan Stewart, and in 9 Matthew Mclean. Callum Rose fastest seed through. Here, 27.3 his entry time, 29.7 on the outside. We should start to see. We should be able to predict the winners, shouldn't we, Duncan? We would expect to see them in the centre lanes, but of course you've got to swim it to win it. But it does look to be Callum Rose. Adam Brodie very close to him in lane 3, just coming into the finish there, easing out a bit there. I felt Callum Rose edging first there, 28.07. Andrew Brodie in second place for Aberdeen Dolphins, just in 28.26, and third 28.48 Owen Carroll.
Yep, so that's the time set. 2 more heats to go. Expect to see some 27s before we're done. But 28.07 currently the standard. Next heat, Ruben Kelly, Kieran Lennox, Finlay Nelson, Kieran Brackenser, Robert Burgess, William Storer, Ryan Broadley, Adam Ritchie, Magnus Bullough and Jack Lorimer. Just checking Magnus Bullough was there because he's missed quite a few of his swims. So obviously something that's making cut back, focusing maybe on these shorter distances. But Robert Burgess, we've seen some splendid backstroke from him. So we'll see how fast he can go on the sprint. Probably think of him more as a 200 man. Lane 5 off to a good start as well. William Storer beside him. These two, I think, have the edge as we see them go past the camera there. And it's going to be pretty close between them. Lane 3, Kieran Brackenser in the mix as well. But Robert just moving through now to take it by around a metre. Well, we said we might get some 27s. We've got 2 there, Robert and Kieran. Robert 27.44 to take the win, and 27.89 for Kieran Brackenser. I think that might be his first time under 28. 28.2 his entry time. So well done, Kieran. And in third place, William Storer, just over the 28, 28.06.
Yeah, Kieran Brackenser more of a fly breaststroke swimmer perhaps, but his backstroke was looking really good there. Robert Burgess, of course, has won the 100 and the 200 in his age group already in the backstroke events. Our fastest seed in the final heat here, Lucas Brown, swimming in the 16-year age group. Be interesting to see if he can also hit that 27.
So we're about to find out. Chap McDonald, Jacob Wood, Callum Dunn, Greer van der Merlen, Lucas Brown, Travis Davey, Alex Thompson, Owen Williamson, Finlay Davis and Robbie Boyd. The lineup here. Nice poolside view. Getting down to swimmer level. See close what they're up to.
Yeah, good view of our technical officials as well. They've worked really hard throughout this meet. We've had long sessions and not much of a break in the middle anyway. Sorry, back to the pool.
Haven't they just? But it's Lucas Brown. So let's see if we can get inside that 27.44 set by Robert Burgess. Entered slightly faster than that, 27.24. Certainly looks like he's going to take the heat pretty comfortably for a 50. Greer van der Merlen, talking about van der Merlen's a bit this morning. He takes second and Travis Davey in third, but 27.41. So that is 300ths faster than Robert Burgess. Of course, Lucas going into the 16-year-old final, so Robert will be in the 17-18. So you pretty much think that that is putting Lucas very much as a hot favourite for the 16-year-olds.
Yeah, he looked as though he was easing off into the final 5 metres as well. That might have been a stroke adjustment to make sure that he was touching on full extension. But I actually think that he was easing off, and he's got a 100 freestyle final this evening and a 50 going in as the fastest in those. So really exciting. He's got a busy evening ahead. Just short distances, they are his forte, but that'll be hard work for him. He'll need a good swim down and then a bit of a kip this afternoon, I think, to come back for the final session. And hopefully perform well. I fancy him for that 50 backstroke, certainly. 100
Yeah,
free.
so what do the swimmers get up to in the afternoon when they're back? I mean, because they want to chill, I guess, and rest. So do you actually sleep, or do you just take it easy and just not do too much?
Well, I think a lot depends, and it depends on whether you're a local person or whether you've come through to a hotel. I mean, it may well be that the hotels will have expired today, so there won't be anywhere for them to go other than a cafe. I know a lot of my swimmers, when the meets are held in Aberdeen, obviously we're based up there, it's just a bit too far to go home, and their memories of snags when they're held up in Aberdeen is sleeping in cafes and sleeping in Pizza Hut and sleeping in cars and sleeping in caravans, when it's warm weather, sleeping outside, but they certainly do go to sleep in the afternoon. It's quite a long day if you're making finals, early start, late finish. You do need to take a good rest in the afternoon.
So on to the girls 50 fly now. First heat, Rebecca Cole, Georgia Reed, Emily Dickens, Heather Stewart, Mia McLeod, Jessica Smith, Lexi McCappin, Sophie Richardson, Gemma Brown, Iona Caspidis. And when we saw emphatic victories in the early heats of the 50 backstroke, it looks like we're seeing something similar here from Mia McLeod, a swimmer who's had some really good swims this week, and that's another one, 30.42, nearly 2 seconds taken off her entry time for the Swim It girl. Swim It based around the Bathgate area of West Lothian. The Donald girls coaching there, Fiona Donald in particular, and very nicely there. Second and a half clear, Gemma Brown, Jessica Smith in third.
Go on to heat 2 then. In lane 0, Emma Creaney, North Lancashire. Lane 1, Abby Barnstable. 2, Caitlin Urquhart. Lane 3, Alyssa Goodbrand. 4, Jessica Beaton. 5, Rebecca Sent. 6, Ava Kirkham. 7, Phoebe Murdoch. 8, Louise Connell. And in 9, Isabella Abernethy.
Looks like it's just the Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer, Jessica Beaton, but under a bit of pressure. This certainly is closer than the first heat. Rebecca Sen in lane 5 is up there. Alyssa Goodbrand, who we saw strong earlier on, but I think in between them it will be the Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer, Jessica Beaton, 31.04 for her, so she improves by a second. So good stuff from the 16-year-old from Aberdeen Dolphin. Second place, Alyssa Goodbrand, 31.26, and third, Caitlin Urquhart, 31.71.
So heat 3, ready to go into the water in lane 0, Rona Anderson. In 1, Alison Wood. 2, Taylor Smith. 3, Ashley Drake. In lane 4, Keira Bain. 5, Ayla Kennedy. In 6, Lauren Anderson. 7, Georgia Dickey. In 8, Ailey Galt. And in lane 9, Alice Hall. So nothing in it between the swimmers on their entry times.
Yep, so that suggests this might be a tight one, and it's shaping up that way, I think. Lane 3, there's been a lot of good swims from lane 3 this morning, and it's Ashley Drake who is taking it out there, but getting into stride in lane 6 as well. Lauren Anderson of Foldhouse, but I think it is Ashley who's recently moved from People's area and part of the best team up to Warrender, and she seems to be thriving in a new environment. And in the end, well, I said it was going to be tight, it wasn't at all. 30.67. Ashley takes the win, improves by over a second on her entry time.
Yeah, Lauren Anderson coming through to take second there, 31.45, and Ayla Kennedy between them in 31.59. It was pretty tight between the rest of them, but there was no doubt about the winner there, Ashley Drake. Really strong swim.
Still that 30.42 from Mia McLeod though in the first heat is the time to beat as we go towards heat number 4. Line up here in heat 4, Caitlin Smith, Katie Coventry, Elise Kendall, Rosie Liston, Milana Lowe, Kirsty Gilmore, Chloe McLean, Sarah Stewart, Eva Gordon and Maria Howell.
Great start there. Look at that in lane 6. That's Chloe Mclean, Dundee City Aquatics in the pink cap underneath the water. You've got to judge that right, and she just came up about 12 metres or so, and it had put her right into the front, but she's got to hang on now as she comes down the second 25. She's still looking good. Alongside her, though, in 5, it's Kirsty Gilmore, South Lanarkshire, and they're all starting to come through as we come in towards the finish. So that good start certainly helped. In fact, she did take that one. Chloe Mclean, Dundee City Aquatics,
Yeah,
30.82.
Definitely a hang on there, wasn't it, after that really good start? But hang on she did, and takes the win in 30.82, as you said. And again, another nice improvement, 8/10 on her entry time. Just wait for confirmation there. I might just be thinking about those tight finishes, but normally we trust the electronics, and do look to be behaving themselves at that end of the pool this morning, so touch wood on that one. But well, there is a little bit of a delay here before we get the confirmed result coming up.
Not so many poor touches, I don't think, this morning. Butterfly, you're going to tend to touch with a harder push, unless you're just kind of leaning in towards the finish because you've had enough. Don't tend to see that on the 50.
So you can see that result was confirmed, so we can move on.
To heat number 5, 0 Ella Chalmers, 1 Laura Frizzell, 2 Sienna Perry, 3 Jessica Heaps, 4 Charlotte Thompson, 5 Lauren Clark, in 6 Emma Finley, 7 Anna Green, 8 Anna Williamson, and 9 Martha Reeves.
So all in a line down towards the halfway markers. Maybe just coming to edge it. Anna Green, the backstroke specialist, going here in the 50 fly in lane 7. Also up there in lane 5 is Lauren Clark of East Lothian. I think it's between these two. I think Anna is going to edge it. Oh, no, she isn't. 30.33. It goes to Lauren. And Anna just 400ths behind her, 30.37. Charlotte Thompson taking third in 30.62.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily think that backstroke and butterfly were good partners, but they often are. The backstrokers, our extraordinary backstrokers especially, having to have that strong fly underwater in order to be able to get off the walls and get that ahead. We saw Holly McGill, didn't we, in the 200 metres butterfly, swimming really strongly in there, taking the best advantage of that underwater work, holding her in good stead there, and Anna Green as well, strong fly. Heat number 6, in 0 Catherine Bailey, 1 Madison Gallagher, 2 Lucy Stoves, 3 Iona Wilson, 4 Ailey Armstrong, 5 Charlotte Hardy, 6 Isla McDonald, in 7 Olivia Mason, 8 Naomi Maguire, and in lane 9 Chloe Barron. A good start there, Olivia Mason, Warren de Bath swimmer, coming through well now in 4 Ailey Armstrong, the East Lothian captain, alongside her teammate Iona Wilson in 3. Looks like it's going to be Ailey Armstrong touching first there, 30.07, still not sneaking under that 30 mark. Second place it was Iona Wilson, in second place 30.34, and coming through third, Olivia Mason. Oh.
So back-to-back East Lothian wins there. Ailey Armstrong getting very close to that 30-second mark, and Iona Wilson, her teammate, just behind her. So good stuff there. On to heat number 7. And in this one we have Catriona Stewart, Keira Sterica, Lily McDonald, Catherine Boddy, Thanrada McGregor, Millie Milne, Grace Courtney, Holly Lumsden, Eva Alguero, and Nuala Gow. So 30.3s to 30.8 in this one. Can someone duck under the 30? The red caps prominent in the centre lanes for Warrender, Millie Milne, Thanrada McGregor. Others pretty close as well. Hard to tell from that lineup who's doing what, but you can tell that it's very close. And once again, it's lane 6 coming up. Again, it's East Lothian swimmer. They're on a roll, but just missing that 30 seconds. I think Grace will probably be a bit disappointed about that. I'm sure she had 29 in her sights there. So close, 30.02, but a half-second improvement on her entry time.
And 1/100th faster than her teammate from the heat before. Those hundredths matter in these 50s.
Yeah, Grace has gone through a bit of a hard time in the last year or so since lockdown, but nice to see her returning to some form there.
Heat 8 then, the first of our cyclically seeded heats. Zoe Crawford, Drew Mackenzie, Alice Mackey, Natalie Jones, Ariana Stokes, Emily Cumming, Amber Stevenson, Jory Horn, Orla McInnes and Isabel Wood. So swimmers from all of the age groups in the water just at the moment. I think perhaps lane 5 at Emily Cumming, Kinross. And now moving through in 6, Amber Stevenson, South Ayrshire swimmer. Strong swim in 1. Oh, Drew Mackenzie, of course, swimming in one of the outside lanes. Really good here from Drew. From lane 1, I think she's going to take that one. She does 28.95, so we are under 30. Second place it was Amber Stevenson, and through into third, Natalie Jones. Just snuck in there right at the end, timed up nicely towards the finish.
Yeah, I guess the surprise for me is that Drew was in such an outside lane rather than the fact that she won it. But nice swim from Drew. Amber Stevenson, really good swim from her as well. 29.26 in second place, just inside her entry time. Third.
So Drew was second in that event in the West District age groups, the time there 29.92, and that was a big drop from that time not that long ago, earlier on this year, the West District age groups. Like you say, a surprise that the time not faster for her entry. Perhaps not an event she does very often.
So penultimate heat we have here Sophie Hall, Heidi Wren, Susie McNair, Louisa Stoddart, Helen Stoddart, Stella McCarty, Elise Cousins, Maya Reynard, Katie Rose and Vanna Janssen. So interesting one with the two Stoddart girls side by side. They're both in the mix, but it's going to be the younger one, Helen, who takes the win pretty emphatically in the end, 28.46, and on just inside her entry time, and that's about half a second faster than the previous heat. So good form showing by Helen at the moment, particularly in the 50 fly, probably her strongest event. Did a 28.22 down in Sheffield, making the junior final.
Yeah, so a really good time there just to get inside her entry time. She was the East District champion. And up next, again, a swimmer who we can see that crossover between butterfly and backstroke, Scarlett Ferris, Perth City, perhaps known better for her 5100 backstroke. And here swimming the butterfly in as the fastest seed, not just as the Midland District, rather, open champion. Her entry time, perhaps a conversion, not so sure about that. It's good off the walls, representing Perth City at this meet. Youth Academy member and wearing that red cap for Perth City.
So you see it was a Stoddart 1-2 there. The younger swimmer, Helen, just edging out her daughter. Her daughter?
Her daughter, goodness gracious.
Oh dear, sorry about that.
It has been a
her
long day.
Sister, her sister.
Final heat then. Gabriella Lessing, Anna de Grosser, Amy Watson, Faith Yuda, Scarlett Ferris, Isla Yule, Ailey Robertson, Melissa Mainwaring, Eve Mayer, Katie Campbell. So alongside Scarlett, Isla Yule competed in this event down at the British Championships for South Aberdeenshire. So this is a pretty good heat. And Scarlett Ferris using that dolphin kick that she will have rehearsed so many times for her backstroke. I think she's going to come through and take this final heat. 28.74 for her, so not quite as fast as we saw in the previous heats, but certainly enough for a good lane in the final this evening. Scarlett Ferris there in first, second place Amy Watson it was in the end, 29.01, and third through, just 1/100th behind Isla Yule, South Aberdeenshire, 29.02.
Yep, still struggling to get over my Stoddart faux pas there. I'm going to get it, if anybody from the East Lothian area has been listening to that, I'm going to get it in spades when I go back there. So anyway, that was a good swim from Scarlett Ferris. I think well controlled, and she'll certainly be in a good lane in the 17-18 final. But Helen Stoddart in the 15 final, looking very good for that one. There is confirmation of that last heat, 28.74 taking it for Scarlett. Now we'll see the event summary, I would think. And there you have it. So Louisa Stoddart, Scarlett Ferris, they're the same time, 28.74, both in the 17-18 age group. So that's going to be interesting later on. Look forward to that one. and running through. Then you see a joint 21st as well. No surprise to see identical times when they're so tightly bunched up, all these girls through the 50 fly. So if we're going to get swim-offs, it's usually the 50s where we get them. But now we go to our distance event, the 800 freestyle for the boys. And here we have got 3 heats. This, of course, is a heat declared winner event, all decided this morning. In the open events, often you put the fastest heat into the evening, don't you? But clearly in these age group events, more appropriate, I think, to swim them all together and get them done and dusted. And it gives people also the chance then to focus on the shorter distances in what is a pretty packed, highly compressed final session when they might be doing a number of swims.
Yes, it's a difficult call, I think. In fact, we've been involved in some discussion around the pool side as to whether or not we should actually age group these so that the swimmers are competing against the swimmers that they're actually competing against to become the champion. So we've got no swimmer there in lane 6, Oliver Cartwright. I'll just read through the swimmers. Go back to that discussion about that seeding. So in 0, we've got Luke Garrity and Inverclyde. In lane 1, Kane Buchanan, Dundee City Aquatics. In lane 2, Callum Gold, Aberdeen Dolphins. In 3, James Boddy, Geary. 4, Kyle Mitchell, Geary. In lane 5, Robbie Thompson, Shetland. So we have no swimmer in lane 6. In 7, Ewan Jones, West Lothian. In lane 8, Harry Keogh from Ren 96. And in 9, Ollie Wishart from Carnegie. So if you think about the Scottish National Age Group Championships, its primary purpose, I guess, is really to pitch the swimmers of Scotland against each other to determine who the champions are and provide competitive opportunity as well. But we also use, it's probably the primary meet that is used as a qualifier for the British Summer Championships. And that's why I think at the moment we combine all of these age groups in the distance events, so the 800 and 1500 free, where the winner is declared according to the heat swim, heat declared winner, and also in the 400s for the younger age groups, the 11 to 13 and 14-year-old, the 400s. They're also heat declared winner. It was very noticeable yesterday. We were perhaps having just one out of the 11 to 13s in the final heat, and not with a race against the people that they were trying to beat. So it was just really for a time, which is what the heat declared winner is about. But it was a shame because we couldn't see those head-to-heads, and they didn't really know, even though they might have known what time the swimmers in the previous heat had done, they weren't racing against them. But because the meet serves 2 purposes, they want to provide people with the best opportunity to swim the best time that they possibly can. But perhaps it loses that edge in some of the younger age groups. And in the final heat, we have got swimmers this morning in the 800 metres freestyle. So we're looking at we don't have any 15-year-olds in the final heat, so we'll be looking for those winners in the heat before, and they will be competing against each other. But if you've just got one swimmer in the final heat and you don't know how fast they're going to go, it just loses that edge perhaps for some of the swimmers. But it's a balance to be struck, and it's a decision that's made by the National Swimming Committee as to how the heat should be organised.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a right answer on that. I think there's arguments, as you've just gone through, in favour of both approaches, and so you've got to pick one, and this is the one they've picked.
It's an interesting race unfolding here. The entry times ranging from 9:17:43. That one belongs to Kyle Mitchell from Geary, out to 9:56. So a big spread of entry times there. Geary with quite a few swimmers in the distance events. I think they're working very hard on that 400 metres individual medley and towards the distance freestyle events. Up in the North District, it's the Geary swimmers that we tend to see most competitive. Not the only ones, but they are very competitive in those distance events. And we know a coach coming up, and he's always asking us in the warm-up for a pace lane. It's something that they rehearse and they practice for. I noticed that British Swimming have appointed somebody to lead on the development of distance swimming, because there's a recognition that it's not just in Scotland where we're seeing perhaps a decline in the number of swimmers wanting to swim those distance events and swimming them well. It's in fact, it's not just a British issue, it's a worldwide thing. But there's opportunities there. Yeah, I mean, take those opportunities, start swimming those distance events, get better at those distance events, and there's an opportunity there to get yourself on teams and potentially to medal in these major international events, because there's just not as many distance swimmers about as there used to be.
Yeah, Dan Jervis, of course, probably the British star at distance swimming, the Welshman. We'll be seeing him. He'll be, I think, be gunning for gold in Birmingham for Wales. But he's really the only one at the top level of the British distance freestylers, both men and women. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The opportunity is there. We're coming to halfway now in this race, 4:34, 4:8. You can see the splits there, 35s for both Callum and James. So they are going pretty nicely there, pacing around about the 1:10, 1:11 mark. So going well into, what, the 9-minute and low teens perhaps, that sort of pace. And certainly they've got a good advantage now over the rest of the field. So very much a northeast of Scotland focus to this race, with Kyle Mitchell also of Geary in third place, but quite a long way back on the leading two. And it is still lane 2, as it has been all the way through so far, the Aberdeen Dolphin. Callum Gould. Don't have any freestyle, 800 freestyle form for him. It does look like maybe James Body is he closing a bit? Well, let's look at the splits on these last 50 as they go through 500. And James is a little bit faster, so my eyes were not deceiving me. And there's just 4/10 between them now, but still keeping a nice pace. And certainly not that there's any slippage in pace from Callum. It is that James is picking it up.
Yeah, James swam in the 1500 metres earlier on, and he had a noticeable faster second half. I mean, he was swimming out on his own out in front on that race, but his splits on his second half were 3 seconds faster than on his first half. I think he was 1:12 or something for his hundreds on the first half, and down below 1:10 on the second half of his race. So that's obviously the way that he rehearses his race. 1500, I think he took the silver medal from the first heat. Really strong swim, but it was definitely back-ended. Of course, the two swimmers out in front are now having a race, which his race is to catch up with them. But they should bring each other on to really good times in lanes 2 and 3 between Callum Gould. Oh, it is James Body. That's
yeah, Callum Gould certainly responded then to the challenge that James was setting him, and definitely picked up his pace there. And we'll see what the gap is here and what the relative pacing is. 35.0 and a 35.1. So, what, 3/4 of a second now the gap. 6:54.85, so still just over the 1:10. So they're maintaining that pace very nicely. There was a little bit of a push where they went down to a 1:10.0. James Body now just slipping back a little bit, so we'll see. This perhaps is a critical part of the race for him. He certainly won't want to lose, and it looks like he is picking it up again as they come towards the wall at 650, but the gap has increased. Let's see, it was 3/4 of a second. It's now 1.25 seconds near enough. So half a second picked up by Callum there. That'll be a bit of a worry for James. Let's see if he can bring this one back and stay in touch. It'll be the bell this time. And at the moment, you would say Callum Gould is a pretty strong favourite, but stranger things have happened. People just finding a real sprint finish to bring it in, but here we go, 8:04.30. So definitely picking up the pace there. That was about a 69.5 there for Callum. And he is the one now who's got the advantage, nearly 1.5 seconds. Has James got something in the tank to bring it back? So far, doesn't look like it. Very emphatic swims from both of them though. So their entry times, Callum on 9:23 and James on a 9:19. They're both going to be inside those times. I think it's particularly Callum. That 9:23 is going to be history. Really pushing it on very, very nicely here. The Aberdeen Dolphin. Look at that, just really working the arms now. The leg's still not doing too much, but the arms certainly doing the heavy lifting here. And through into the final 5. The clock just going into the 9:10, so very nicely done. 9:11.60, finished on a 67.
Yeah, and you called that after about 300 metres, Duncan. You said it's going to be in the low 9:10s, and they are 9:11.60 for Callum Gold. It's, I mean, Aberdeen Dolphins have historically produced some very fast swimmers over short distances. The range of events that they're offering and the range of events that they're competing well in is broadening, and it's great to see them entering this 800 free. And Callum Gold swimming it so well. James Boddy in second, 9:14.28. Robbie Thompson coming through for third in 9:24.97.
Yeah, good scrap there between Robbie and Kyle, but the Shetlander, Robbie, just getting the third spot there. So final swimmer just coming in lane 9. So complete the first heat. And there you get confirmation of the result. Callum Gold then 9:11.60. Still, how many 15-year-olds have we got in this next one? 4 we have. So see if they can all beat Callum's time. They just don't have faster entry times than that, so we'll see whether Callum can get himself onto the podium with that swim. Certainly he gave it everything. So the lineup for this second heat: Thomas Traynor going in the 15 age group for South Lanarkshire in 0. Owen Williamson going for East Lothian in the 17-18s in lane 1. James Burnett, another 15-year-old for Warrender in 2. Greg Hall, Aberdeen Performance in 3, also a 15-year-old. Then we've got a couple of 16-year-olds. Ben Kelly of Warrender in 4. Jack Simpson of South Lanarkshire in 5. 15-year-old Kai Connolly of City of Glasgow in 6. Will Shepherd in the 16s for Perth City in 7. 18-year-old Ewan Walker for N96 in 8. And another 16-year-old Geary's Fraser Tetlow in lane 9. So we didn't have a 200 swim off, but we do have a 50 backstroke swim off.
Jolly good.
That's going to be in the 15-year-old age group. We'll need to find out what it's for, but it's Tom Armitage and Richard Laws, Highland and Cooper respectively.
And I understand that will take place after this event, so before the relays we've got at the end of the session.
So setting the pace here in lane 5 is Jack Simpson, who goes in the 16 age group. We'll try and keep abreast of the leading 15-year-old times as we go through this as well. But Jack Simpson setting the way, and I think we can see that. That's James Burnett. He's the 15-year-old. Kai Connolly also. So it could be a good race between them. Just 4 tenths separating them. James going in lane 2 and Kai in lane number 6. So you can see there's not much between them at all. But the 16-year-old is leading them. And that is Jack Simpson. So it is for a place in the final, I believe. So there must be in joint 10th, those two, Tom and Richard Laws. But 2:09.23 is around 3 seconds faster than the first heat. And looking at James Burnett's time, 2:09.69, that's faster as well. Kai Connolly as well, 2:10.88. Just looking down to who's the third place 15-year-old. I can't quite work it out. You're probably smarter at that than me, Lynn.
No, I was looking at the times from the previous heat. The fastest times, in fact, 9:11.60. I know that you had that there for Callum Gold, Aberdeen Dolphins, and James Body, also a 15-year-old, 9:14.28. So those are the times to beat. The times in the 16, 17 and 18-year-olds, well, we've got so many of them to come, it's difficult to predict where the medals are going to come from in that one.
Yeah, at the moment, my prediction, but don't particularly rely on me, is that Callum Gold will be sitting in the bronze medal position at this stage, but coming up to 300, and certainly it's looking good for Jack Simpson now. 3:17.63 is up by about 1.8 over James Burnett. Owen Williamson has moved up into third. James now has got about a second advantage over Kai Connolly in that 15-year-old race, and they are still both pacing faster than Callum Gold's pacing. And it's still pretty close between them. I think Kai Connolly has just gone into hurry-up mode, as he was a second or plus back on James, but you can see there that 34.0 against James is 35.3, so that's pushed him now half a second up. Jack Simpson's still leading them, and he has to set the standard for the 16-year-olds coming in the next heat. There's about 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, Kai Connolly winning this event in the 15-year age group in the 100 metres free.
Who won the 1500 in the 15 age group?
That's what I said, Kai Connolly.
Oh, it was Kai Connolly.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
James Body finishing in a silver medal. Adam Scott it was who took the bronze medal, but he's obviously electing not to swim this event.
So now making a bit of a move is Will Shepherd in lane 7. He's moved into second ahead of the 15-year-olds. Kai Connolly still leading James Burnett now, so he's at the moment in gold medal position in the 15-year-olds, but not by too much from James. You can see there 5:04 for Kai, 5:05, so 1.1 the gap between them at the 4:50 mark. I think they'll be able to look over and see where each other is. I'm sure they'll have eyed up. That's my competition. James and Kai. Will Shepherd is definitely coming at our leader Jack Simpson. We'll just check on their respective intermediate splits here. So 35.4 and 34.6. So quite a big difference there. So we'll see whether that continues. Round about 109s is the pacing that we're seeing from Jack, and definitely Will now, urged on by his coach Anne Dixon there on the side of the pool, and is definitely responding to that urging. Looks like, well, it's close between Kai Connolly and Owen Williamson for third. I think just Kai, and he's perhaps increasing his lead over James Burnett now, so going through Kai there 6:15 and James 6:17, so 2-second gap now, so looking pretty good for Kai to do the 8 and the 15 double as things stand at the moment.
Yes, we can see Anne Dixon there urging on her Will Shepherd from the sidelines. I was just looking through to see the 16-year-old medalists in the 1500 free, and in fact they're all swimming in the last heat, so not that competition, you know, what we were speaking about earlier. They can't actually see what those fastest 16-year-olds are doing, and haven't got the opportunity to race against them. But having said that, it's a good race that's unfolding here.
Yeah, Jack pacing in the high 69s now, and definitely Will is whittling away at his lead, and wouldn't be at all surprised if he goes past him in the near future. So coming up to 6:50, and there's just over half a second between them, so we focus on those two. You can see that Kai's time there 7:25, and still with a now reasonably comfortable lead over James Burnett. But there's going to be a good tight contest. In lane 7:55. Jack Simpson is not wanting to be overtaken. He's still got the edge as they come to the bell, so it will be down to who's got the sprint at the back end of this. Oh, in fact, Will just getting the touch there at the 700. 7:55.51 against 7:55.61. Owen Williamson bang on, or pretty much bang on the 8 minutes. That'd be a separate race really for third place. This is a scrap at the front now. So who has left the energy in for the final sprint? You see the two of them coming down. Who's your money on, Lynn?
Well, I was just going to say Jack Simpson breathing to his right. He won't really be aware of what Will Shepherd is doing. And he's breathing to his left now, so he's still not aware of what Will Shepherd is doing. Will breathing to both sides, so much more aware of what's going on. And just as I say that, we see Jack Simpson looking towards Will Shepherd, but it's too late. Will Shepherd's gone.
Yeah, when he did look, he wouldn't have liked what he saw. So it's going to be Will. Coming up towards the 9 minutes, but it's just going to be over. So 9:01.83. Will's entry time though, 9:12, so nicely done, 11 seconds inside that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be pleased with that. Tinged of disappointment of just not quite getting inside the 9 minute mark, but that's a cracking improvement there for Will Shepherd, taking that heat to put him into contention for a medal.
Jack Simpson takes a 9:08 down to a 9:03, and Owen Williamson 9:13 down to 9:06. So some nice improvements there and confirmation there. So 9:09.09, nice easy time to remember there for Kai Connolly. And interestingly, the time from Callum Gould is faster than James Burnett. So he's going to be the silver medalist, and well, we'll wait and see. What was James Boddy's time in that one?
9:14.28.
So that's very, very close in that contest for third in the end then. But I think, is that James Boddy slightly faster? We'll just check that one out in a moment.
Like I say, James Boddy, the silver medal winner in the 1500. I know an extraordinary swim for him there, really out on his own, but just have to see those results. Not quite through yet.
So into the third and final heat, so a mixture of 16s and 17-18 swimmers here. Mark Scott of Finns, he's a 16-year-old, goes in 0. Angus Johnson of City of Glasgow in the 17-18s in 1. Another 16-year-old, Geary's Ben McLaughlin in lane 2. Then a couple of 18-year-olds, Aberdeen Performances, John Taylor in 3, and Andrew Bertoli of City of Glasgow in 4. Then two 16-year-olds, Luke Hornsey of East Lothian and Scott Fleming of South Lanarkshire go in lanes 5 and 6. 18-year-old Archie Dixon in 7. Callum Peebles in the 16 age group for East Lothian in 8, and Elgin's Jacob Wood goes in the 17-18s in lane 9.
Yes, a confirmation of the result there of the 15-year-olds 800 metres freestyle. The winners, you rightly said, Kai Connolly in second, Callum Golden. It was James Boddy getting third there, 9:14.28. So just 22 100ths ahead or faster than Greg Hall, because of course they weren't racing against each other.
So 62 points. Scott Fleming taking it out pretty hard here. Yeah, so you would think in this one there'll be a race going on between Luke and Scott in lanes 5 and 6 in the 16-year-old age group. Luke, the winner in the, I think, the 4 and the 15.
And Scott just behind him in the 4 and the 15. So Scott perhaps determined to get on top of the podium this time around.
He did go out hard in all of those races, and then Luke overhauled him in the latter stages. We'll see whether history repeats itself there, but maybe not. And then in the 17-18s, playing at Canny at the moment, is Andrew Bertoli. How many goals has he got? Lots.
Lots.
Can we be a bit more precise?
Well, I can tell you, lots just kind of works. So Andrew Bertoli has already won the 200 free, the 400 free, the 1500 free, the 200 fly, 200 breaststroke, and the 400 metres individual medley. So broad range of events there. Longer distances generally. What do you think of him?
I think he's great.
So do I.
Yeah, he's come up. He has been training with City of Glasgow, particularly during a lockdown, and is swimming for them here. And it has been a great asset for that City of Glasgow team.
Yeah, and they have shown a lot of good team spirit, cheering Andrew on. They do spend time with him. He doesn't qualify them for any points because he doesn't spend enough time up here in Scotland. But he has got, I mean, it's a genuine affiliation that he's got with the club, working with them, as you said, during lockdown and when the other opportunities arise. But yeah, what a smashing swimmer he is.
So in the meantime, it's the 16-year-olds who are running the show, and Scott Fleming has certainly gone out with a lot of intent here. Opened up over 2 seconds over Luke Hornsey. Scott Fleming, West District Short Course Age Group Champion, and Luke Hornsey did an 8:36, so slightly faster than his entry time down in the British. He was a finalist in, well, say finalist in the fastest heats, in 7th overall in the Scottish Winter Meet Short Course, and they did do heats and finals, I think, from memory in the McCullough meet, or did they? I can't remember. I think maybe they didn't. I think maybe they just had the fastest heat in the evening, but he was 10th there. But let's see what their respective splits are here as we come up to halfway. Scott 4:19 and 33.5, and so the same pacing and still that 2.7 second gap. So as we go into the second half, you would think that Andrew Bertoli will start to make a move sometime around now, and Luke will, I think, try and do the same, but he's let Scott get a fairly big lead here.
Yeah, into the second half of the race, we were talking about 1500 free, very often split into 3 500s, and you'll see that the race tactics or the race plan will be based around those 500s. The 800 more a first half and a second half, but Scott Fleming looking pretty comfortable out in front, and that lead about 5 metres now. Andrew Bertoli just making a bit of a move on there, I think. His last 50 was 32.41, so, but Scott Fleming responded with that. 32.5 it was for him as well. It may be that they've both got the same kind of race plan with a faster second half, and Luke Hornsey dropping back just a little bit here. Different age group, of course.
The same age group as Scott Fleming, so that, because, is where the race is. 3.7 the gap between those two. I was speaking to Luke last night after his 400 IM win, and he said, "I am shattered." So we'll see how his a night's sleep obviously can often change that, but he's going to have a lot of work. Scott Fleming, of course, will be aware that Luke came at him in the latter stages, so hence I think why Scott has gone out very hard in these opening stages to try and open up a gap that Luke just can't cope with. There's still 3.5 seconds between these two. Andrew Bertoli sort of halfway in between them now, but I don't think it'll be too long before he's up with Scott. Coming up to 600 now.
Yeah, and you can see just a bit more of a kick there from Luke Hornsey. He's got a very long stroke, short hand entry into the water, but stretching out really long and hard underneath the water. Scott Fleming still in first place. Pace dropped just a little bit, so he's out 33 high on the way back. Luke Hornsey 33 low, so not that much of a difference, and with a gap of 3 seconds between them, it's looking quite good for Scott, would you say?
Yeah, it's I think too early to call it at this stage. You definitely feel that Luke is starting now to work the lead down. Andrew Bertoli, as we thought, now has gone into the lead. You can see there 33.0 against 31.9 for Luke. So the gap's still 2 seconds, but if he can make up a second per length here, then it would be good for Luke Hornsey, but it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to do it. He's with it up to a body length now, though. So that's where the race is. Andrew Bertoli is off and away for the 17, 18-year-olds. I think there's no doubt as they take the bell, he's going to take gold in that age group. But can Scott Fleming hold off Luke Hornsey in this last 100 meters? Again, a big gap in their respective splits there down that last length.
Yeah, Luke Hornsey as well, although he may be very tired, but he will be brimming with confidence from the wins that he's had already, especially either side of this 800 free in the 400 and 1500. Scott, perhaps, you know, very determined to go. That's why he's gone out hard, isn't it? But he will have seen Luke go past him in those other races as well. And lo and behold, it's happening again. Andrew Bertoli, though, really racing down like he's just not swum another 750 or 775 metres to go, just coming in towards the finish and accelerating in towards the wall. Very impressive swim yet again from Andrew Bertoli. They're swimming inside himself. His entry was 8:20, 8:35.39 though. That will take the win in his age group, 17, 18-year age group. Luke Hornsey is for the gold from East Lothian. And 8:39.76 his final time, really fast finishing. Scott Fleming will have to settle for the silver yet again in 8:42.00.
Yeah, it must be so galling for Scott, having been leading out so long in 3 races now, and every time Luke has just charged past him in the last 50 or so. But fair play to Luke. He didn't panic when he was quite a long way back. He obviously had that race strategy. He was confident in his back end speed, and then executed it when he needed to. So another gold for Luke Hornsey. He's had a few freestyle goals now, plus a 400 IM. So
Yeah.
is it up to 4 now, is he? 4 goals?
Yeah, really impressive. So 400 metres individual medley. Did we see him in the 200 earlier? It seems so long ago, doesn't it, that we saw the 200 metres medley. But yeah, so golds in the 400 free and 1500 free. Scott Fleming becoming behind him in the 400 and the 1500. And of course losing out to Stefan in the 200. So lots of silver medals for Scott. So he'll be going back to his coach and potentially looking at their race strategies. And planning for the future.
Yeah, so it looked like John Taylor we getting the silver medal in the 17 age group. And I think Angus Johnson will be the bronze. We'll just wait for confirmation of that. And behind.
What's our swim off?
Yep. Take it away, Lynn.
So just lining up using these backstroke starting devices in the centre lanes. In lane 4 we have Tom Armitage, Highland Swim Team, and Richard Laws is in lane 5. So they swam 30.7 in the heats, and this is for a place in the final this evening. Lane 4 getting away first, Tom Armitage, I think Highland Swim Team, and he's got half a body length up there already. And coming back, Richard Laws. Nothing to separate them on the heats this morning. I think it's just going to be Tom Armitage unless he eases off towards the finish. And he did ease off towards the finish, but he still took that one, 29.71. A full second inside his time from earlier on in the heats. 30.05, Richard Laws. Will have to settle for that first reserve place. How do they do it? It's
always the way, isn't it? Just that adrenaline of a swim off, and you swim faster. Both of those swims would have got them comfortably into the final, but anyway, they've got it on the books. They can do 29.7, they can do 30.0, so well done to both of them. And well done to Tom. I think when you're saying slowing a little bit at the back, I think he was just getting his stroke right for maximum extension to the wall. And actually, I think he executed that pretty well, because it didn't look like there was 3/10 between them, but at the end there, that was all about the finish, I think. So it's relay time, and today we've got girls 4x200, and we start off with the 17 and overs, 1 heat of that, and then there'll be 2 heats for the 14 to 16-year-olds.
Yeah, so both of the female events that we've had so far in the 17 and over age group have been won by the team from Aberdeen Performance. And they're in lane 2 this time around. So perhaps they've not got their big guns out, because it was the older swimmers, the swimmers in their 20s that were performing for them in the 4x1 freestyle relay, and it's 4x2 and in the medley.
So in this one, it is Geary going in 0 and led off by Catherine Boddy. Hearts with Holly McGill in 1. University of Aberdeen with Kerry Gillespie in 2. Stirling in 3 with Isabel Wood. Warrender and Anna Green in 4. City of Glasgow, Katie Shanahan leading them off in 5. East Lothian with Abby Davis in 6. North Lanarkshire with Jenna Cole in 7. East Lothian B team with Lucia Biva Segurado in 8. And South Aberdeenshire with Isla Yule in lane 9. No surprise, I guess, to see Katie Shanahan setting the pace here.
No, giving the 200 free another go. She went out really hard, didn't she, in the heat swim for the 200 free individual event, 101, and that's almost exactly the same time as she did in the heats. Just looking to see what she came through. She came in 206.41. And it was off, in fact, what her split 1:00.69. So perhaps just not quite going out so hard on that first 100. Maybe bring her home a bit faster. Closest to her though, that's the team from Warren Bath's Anna Green.
They're quite unusual, I think, to have the 200 freestyle and the 4x2 in the same session. Don't think I've seen that before. But City of Glasgow and Katie Shanahan leading the way by a bit over 2.5 seconds now from Warrender's Anna Green. Did we see Anna in that 200 freestyle? I think we maybe did. The backstroke specialist, just looking to see whether she was. Yes, she was in the penultimate heat there. And she's putting in a pretty decent shift for Warrender, well clear of the 3rd place contest. First changeover.
Yeah, so Katie a little bit down from her swim in the individual event. Like you say, I mean, it is quite unusual to have the 4x2 in the same as the 200 free. Perhaps something to consider for the future, a small revision. But the timing is really tight for this meet because we want to get as many swimmers in as possible, and it may well be that that's just the best and most practical solution. But that's a pretty tough ask, isn't it? 200 free and then 200 free again into the relay as well.
So Drew McKenzie on the second leg is looking very impressive here for City of Glasgow. Warrender a fairly distant second. They have Thunrada McGregor on the second leg, and then you can see in the white cap behind them is the University of Aberdeen with Sienna Perry, and just see appearing in the black cap behind them, and that is East Lothian. Iona Wilson on the second leg for them. Nice shot of Drew moving away from the wall there. 3:08.79, so she was around a 61.2 for her first 100. Slightly faster than we saw from Katie by around 3/10. And we'll just see their respective pacings, but well, at the moment it looks like City of Glasgow by a country mile here. How long is a country mile, by the way?
It's a mile.
Oh, right, okay. Is that longer or shorter than a city mile?
I suspect it's not, as the crow flies. I don't know. I mean, Drew McKenzie didn't actually she didn't win her heat in the 200 freestyle, losing out to Mary Craig, who swam a stormer, but looking extremely strong in this relay swim. City of Glasgow, again, another team showing a lot of good team spirit. The relay teams have worked really well. Battle on for second now. University of Aberdeen Performance, Sienna Perry coming up. Sienna, younger sister of Yasmin, working really hard to get up on terms with, in fact, it's Sterling Swim. Look at me, I'm getting all excited. It was Cara Gordon. Great swim from Cara Gordon, Sterling Swim. Brought her up alongside the team from Warren Bath's club. It's Natasha Simpson gone in for Warren Bath's now, Georgia Ross in for Sterling Swim. City of Glasgow, Hannah Edmiston, birthday girl.
Yep. What do you like for your birthday? A spot in your 4x200, and Well, I think every chance of a gold medal for her birthday.
And then go out and do it again, yes. So the gap now, what are we looking at? We're looking at about 10 metres now, aren't we? The gap that City of Glasgow swim team have got over the team from Warren de Baths, Hannah Edmiston and Natasha Simpson.
Yeah, Natasha, I think, will get a bit back in this leg, but it's hard to see her getting anywhere particularly close. There goes Hannah, 5:23.10. You see her pace 34.7 there. Let's see what. Yeah, 32.6, so a couple of seconds differential, and the 5.5 seconds back. So, well, Warrender could eat quite a lot of this lead down in the second 100 of leg 3.
Yeah, Natasha, the silver medal winner in the 400 and the 800. So, strong back and half we're expecting, and that's what we're seeing as well. Hannah Edmiston, though. She can save her celebratory tea until after this event is swum. Jory Horn taking the final leg. We've got Olivia Mason going in for Warren de Baths Club on the final leg, so it is going to be a bit of a battle as we come in towards the finish.
Yes, so City of Glasgow definitely front-loaded their team, and we'll see how that works out for them, because we're definitely seeing now much more of a contest going on. West trying to prove that they are best. City of Glasgow still hold the advantage, but that lead now down to just about a body length as we go to the final swimmers. 6:33.81 against 6:34.69. So it's going to be Jory Horn against Warrender's Olivia Mason.
Yeah, Jory looking pretty good, but Olivia Mason was the silver medal winner in the 100 free. Really fast 200 this morning as well. But Jory just holding her own through this first 100. Let's hope she hasn't gone off too hard and can give a good race for Olivia at the end of it.
Well, 3/10 faster on that first 50 for her, so a good start for her. Of course, the adrenaline will be pumping through her body, I'm sure, because she'll have seen Warrender closing fast as she waited on the blocks, and now it's about getting that job done, and so far so good for her.
And guess who's in third place just now? It's the team from East Lothian. So going with the point scores just as we come towards the final 100 of this third leg. Still City of Glasgow in first and Warrender in second, and it's the team from East Lothian in third place.
So pretty evenly matched on that second 50 on their respective splits. So still around a second and a bit separating the two teams. And if anything, Jory is just starting to open the gap up a bit more. So unless we could see something really special from Olivia down this last leg, maybe it's going to be a heroic effort to catch Glasgow, but not quite going to be enough. Yes, so City of Glasgow split there, some 8/10 faster than Warrender. So
yeah, Jory pulling away now. She kicked really hard throughout the whole of that race. Just 25 metres to go, and she's not going to be caught. A really cracking swim there from Jory Horn. I did think Olivia Mason would get a bit closer. Her kick has started to come in on the final length, but she's not going to catch Jory. Jory's going to take this one for City of Glasgow, subject to everything being swum correctly, of course. So not going with the seeding there. City of Glasgow A team taking that one. 8:43.07. Warren de Baths Club in second, 8:47.59, and it looks like East Lothian are hanging on there for the third place and the bronze medal. Louisa Stoddart in the water for them, and coming home there, 8:58.23. Sterling swim in fourth.
So we'll wait for confirmation as the remaining teams bring their race to a close, that there are no issues. Still swimmers in the water coming down. You see two of them coming in now. That's Hearts and North Lanarkshire. Now we're seeing East Lothian B and South Aberdeenshire pretty much together, and finally at the other end of the pool, Geary. Bring the race to a close, but well, subject to confirmation, it's City of Glasgow, Warrender and East Lothian. And here is the confirmation of that. So everything was kosher, and that is the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so we've got medals at the end of this session, haven't we, for the 800 metres freestyle and for these relays. The medalists were pretty much as we said there, so Kai Connolly, Callum Gold and James Boddy, the medalists for the 15-year-olds. 16-year-olds, it was Luke Hornsey and Scott Fleming, of course, having to settle for second. Callum Peebles coming through in third, so another East Lothian medal. And in the 18 and over age group, Andrew Bertoli, the gold medal, John Taylor, the silver, and Angus Johnson, City of Glasgow in third place, so bronze medal for him. It's good swimming.
2 more races to go, though. 2 heats in the 14 to 16-year-old girls. 200 free, 4 by 200 free, I should say.
Yeah, 800 free, another 800 free.
Okay, well, let's do it there. 800 free relay.
Right, so in lane 0 we've got Carnegie Swim Team, and it's Iona Cassipidis leading off for them. Aberdeen Dolphins is in 1, Jessica Smith in lane 2. North Lanarkshire Swim Team, Amy Fotheringham. Itham go in 3 with Ailey Galt. In lane 4, East Lothian Swim Team, Helen Stoddart. Dundee City Aquatics, Chloe Mclean. North Ayrshire go in lane 6 with Heather Stewart in the water. University of Aberdeen Performance in 7, Maria Howe. In lane 8, Ren 96, Rebecca Somerville's in the water, and in lane 9, Darcy Reid goes off for Dundee City Aquatics B team. So 2 heats of this event, and each of them taking about 10 minutes. So, I mean, there are reserves, which is always a shame, isn't it? There's teams that have entered that have not been able to swim. But it's a long programme already, really strong start. We spoke about her before, didn't we, Maria Howe on the podium in the backstroke event, leading off the University of Aberdeen performance team, turning first 105.79, 3 seconds faster than the swimmer from East Lothian. So that's Helen Stoddart.
So we saw her sister anchoring the bronze medal older team earlier. So Helen, of course, had an excellent 50 fly earlier. 200 freestyle, probably less, I think, doing it for the team here.
Yeah, both of our leaders 15. Chloe Mclean just moving up amongst them. Dundee City Aquatics pink cap also 15 and close by her, and just actually moving past her there, Heather Stewart from North Ayrshire.
So we've got clear 1 and 2, and then it's tight after that. But very nice start in lane 7 from Maria Howe.
Rebecca Somerville working well there towards the end. She wasn't showing really through the first 100 of that, but saved a lot of her reserve for the second half, and she'll hand over in third place to teammate Beth Hunter.
So in fact, it's East Lothian just getting the touch at the first changeover, but only by less than 2 tenths. So taking it on for them is Ailey Armstrong. For Aberdeen Performance, it's Eden Fraser. Third place for Wren, it's Beth Hunter now in the water, and behind her in lane 6, it's North Ayrshire, Rachel Maguire, just ahead of the Dundee A teams, Isla Gill-Murray, and in lane 3 for Itham, it's Erin Curry. Great that Itham have got 4 good strong swimmers to go into this relay.
Yeah, they've had no pool lately either, and the pool broken in the new Ellen Academy. We're hoping that it's going to be fixed soon after the Easter break, but not really helping them with their preparations. But they have got a really good group of swimmers. They showed that in the North District age groups with this relay team. Just coming through and winning medals, considering that you've got some huge teams in Aberdeen City, just showing that the country folk can do a good job as well.
And of course Geary not too far away from Itham as well.
Yeah, Inverary probably the biggest town that we have in Aberdeenshire, and again a new pool. Aberdeenshire Council putting in some good new community campuses with pools included as well. Not big pools, not really suitable for competition, but offering good training access.
So close up there of Ailey Armstrong, who is a swimmer who's improving a lot this season. and she is putting in a very good shift for the East Lothian team, leading by nearly 3.5 seconds now. You can see there 36.5, her intermediate split there is quite a bit faster than anybody else. Good breaststroker as well as a good freestyler, good IMer. And she will hand over to Grace Courtney, and we saw doing a good fly swim earlier.
Yeah, good swim here from East Lothian, and they need to put in some really fast times if they're going to be close to some of the big teams coming in up in the second heat. But not really a big surprise to see them out in front. Closest to them still, though, Eithan putting in a good performance. We don't get very many opportunities to swim these 4x200s. It's great to see it here at Scottish National Age Groups. Not everybody a fan, but of course there are places up for grabs at the British Summer Championships in these events. 30 or 40 teams, the faster teams in the whole of the UK, going through. The the English clubs will be performing these same events to try and qualify at their regionals, which mostly take place in May. Snag's the only opportunity for Scottish clubs to get those qualification times. Of course, it's a bit quieter for us during May as a lot of these swimmers start knuckling down for their exams and they've got lots of coursework to do, so we want to give them the best chance to do well in those, which is why Scottish National Age Groups is held before.
It does look like East Lothian are starting to come under a bit of pressure now, so Grace Courtney has Alyssa Goodbrand hard on her heels now. So look at that, 37.7 for Grace's split there against 36.1 for Alyssa. So Alyssa could well be up there by the time we get to the end of the third leg.
Yeah, although we have Tegan Black going in there for East Lothian on the final leg. And she's had some really strong freestyle swims, although she's had a very busy programme and they may be tiring towards the end. But there's no real weakness either in the Eithan team. Ella Chalmers going in for them, and it could be Eithan just in front, nosing out in front as we come towards the final takeover.
Yep, so the Eithan team had a 10th advantage there. Can Grace respond? I'm not sure she can. Eithan just gradually opening it up, so this has been a super third leg from Alyssa. Third place in lane 7 is the Aberdeen Performance team. Emma Jupp going for them on the third leg, and then behind them we've got the Dundee A team with Anna Easton, and in lane 8 Wren with Amelia Ray. But you see there Eithan at the third changeover, 7:08.65 against 7:10.23 for East Lothian. So anchoring, as you said, Lynn, Ella Chalmers for Eithan against Tegan Black for East Lothian. Certainly Tegan has a determined look about her, doesn't she? Look at those legs going early on.
Yeah, shorter than we've seen. It does seem to be shorter than the distances at which she excels, but she's certainly got enough of a pace here on the 200 to give Eithan certainly a challenge. And we know she'll hang on at the end, so it just depends on whether she's gone out too hard on this first 100 in the excitement, just to push herself past Ella Chalmers. Looking pretty good though, I think, East Lothian for this one.
Yeah, she certainly made a big impact in the first half of her leg, and going in a little bit behind and now well clear. Still Aberdeen Performance in third place. Amber Edgerton is on the anchor for them. You see them coming into shot now, and then is lane 8, I think, still in fourth. That's Amy McAlonan anchoring for Ren 96, but at the front is very much East Lothian's race now. So 8:14.20 at the 700 split, and that was 66 for Tegan. In fact, it'll be less than that because that was Eithan's time, the 7:08 that I wrote down. So 34.4 for her penultimate 50. You can see 36.8 there for Ella. So they're definitely going to be the 1 and 2, but it's clearly going to be East Lothian setting the target time for the second heat. Remember, of course, we've still got 10 more teams to come. They're all in the same age group with no dividing the age groups, all 14 to 16. So East Lothian will be looking to set the pace here.
Yeah, 9:30.09 was their entry time, and they're well inside that, posting a time of 9:24 for their entry. Could have seen them in that final heat and competing with some of the faster teams on entry. Well, we'll just have to see. That's a good target time. They've set their 9:24.04, second place either 9:30.26. Another team inside their entry time, so they'll be delighted with that. Aberdeen Performance, 9:39.32. That was pretty much what they entered on, so that's really good swimming.
Yeah, so just looking at the times that the swimmers for the second heat entered on, there's most of them, I think 8 of the 10 teams have a faster entry time than that 9:24, so you would expect the medals to come from the second heat, and certainly when we look at who's done what in this or in the relay events in this one, I think it is very much Warrender, City of Glasgow. Hearts, I think, have medalled. So they medalled silver in the is that in the 4x1?
Yeah, I got mixed up with the 4x1 earlier. I just copied this from your spreadsheet there. So yeah, it was in the 4x1. It was Warrender, Heart of Midlothian and City of Glasgow. That was the top 3 finishers in the 4x100 freestyle. East Lothian were the bronze medalists in the medley. But here we are with the 4x2. So our second and final heat in lane 0, Stirling Swimming. Eva Gordon leads them off. City of Glasgow C team in lane 2. No, it's lane 1, of course. And it's Rhodey Liston for them. Safrina Machin, City of Glasgow B team in lane 2. In lane 3, City of Glasgow A team. So we've got 3 City of Glasgow teams running just adjacent to each other. Stella McCarty goes for them. In lane 4, fastest seeds, Warrender Baths Club, Kiana Kurtza in the water. Heart of Midlothian is in lane 5, Leda Weatherspoon. In lane 6, Falkirk Integrated Regional, Zoe Crawford. 7, South Lanarkshire, Kirsty Gilmore. In lane 8, Fulthouse Penguins, Jessica Heaps. And in lane 9, Swim West Lothian A, Natalie Marshall. It's another little quirk of this meet, I think, because we have the 11 to 13s and 14s swimming in the afternoon, but we have the relays for the 14 to 16-year-olds in the morning. That means the finalists for the 14-year age group end up swimming in all 3 sessions, which must be exhausting for them. Kiana Courts has had a really busy programme, swimming a broad range of events, and she's been here at every single session. She must be exhausted.
We did see some signs, I think, of tiredness a couple of days ago, in particular, I think, in the 200 fly, where she did look tired, but she came back strong yesterday and was absolutely dominant once again, and she's looking good here. Of course, it is the end of this session, so they sort of, I suppose, use it almost like part of their warm-up for the afternoon, and so maybe it's not too bad. I'm sure they won't have been here for the morning warm-up. They'll have gone into the swim-down pool to do their preparations and get themselves ready for this relay.
Now I understand Kiana's been travelling through to her home each day and then coming in mid-morning in order to be able to warm up in the little swim down pool. But even so, that's a long programme. We haven't been finishing until the best part of 8 o'clock in the evenings, and then to travel through to Edinburgh and back through again in the morning. Well, good experience, I suppose, but, you know, providing that little bit of a challenge for her. She is an outstanding swimmer with a very strong range of events and managing to perform well in all of them.
Yeah, she put in a very good first leg for Warrender there. She's hand over to Alex Coy. It's a good race going on then on the left-hand side of your screen there. You can see Falthouse in the red cap there. They now have Rosie Heaps taken over from her big sister. And next to them, West Lothian. So a bit of a West Lothian contest going on there. Melissa Main-Waring, she'll be strong, you would think, for West Lothian in this second leg. Lane 3 is the leading group of the 3 Glasgow teams. That's the Glasgow A team. And they've got Heidi Wren, so they've got a strong swimmer on the second leg. See if they can close in at all on Warrender, who's still continuing to lead. I tell you that most of the teams were faster than the first heat at the first changeover.
Yeah, and of course these girls are 14 and two of the Warrender Bath Club team, because they've got Phoebe Arbuckle coming up on the next leg, will be swimming their 200 frees this afternoon. So we saw the likes of Katie Shanahan swimming their 200 free in the individual event and then coming through to swim the relay. And it's the other way round for these 14-year-olds. They've got to do this individual swim this afternoon. But in the water for Warrender Bath Club just now, Alex Coy doing a really good job for them. And Heidi Wren, the City of Glasgow, well, she's doing a good job as well.
Yeah, the City of Glasgow just closing in a little bit now. They will see half a second faster on that last length, and they're down to about a 1.5 second gap now on Warrender, so this certainly isn't over by any means. We can see some big differentials depending on where the teams put their strongest swimmers. And at the moment, Alex Coy holding on to that Warrender lead, but it's a bit more fragile than it was. 4:29.16 as we go to swimmer number 3, and that is Phoebe Arbuckle, as you mentioned, Lynn, and she'll be up against Freya Beaton for City of Glasgow. Moving up now into third is South. Who is that in lane 6? That's first. So Susie McNair with an excellent second leg for them. She's won a meet she's had. And Lexi McCappin now in the water for them. But there we see the leading two teams. 5 minutes on the dot for Warrender at the 4:50. Up by 3/4 of a second, then a 3-second gap to first. You can see now in the screen there in lane 6. And just behind them, City of Glasgow B team. So Coco Croxford putting in a good shift for them. Still, it's a Warrender Glasgow contest at the front, just a body length in it, coming up to halfway through the third leg.
Yeah, so Freya Beaton swimming well alongside Phoebe Arbuckle for that first and second place. City of Glasgow will have Louise Connell on the last leg and Warrender Ashley Drake. So that's going to be a bit of a contest during the final leg. But in the water right now, I don't think there's much of a change really. There's certainly not with the order because we've still got Warrender Bath Club out in front. But I don't think they've lost any ground or made up any ground over this leg.
Well, I was just thinking that maybe Phoebe is starting to open up the lead a little bit in the latter stages of this race. So let's just check on these splits. 34.2 for Phoebe and 35.3 for Freya. So we did see, of course, Phoebe dominant in the distance events in the 14-year-old age group, and it's that distance stamina that's standing her in good stead here in the latter stages of her leg. So she has put in a really good shift for Warrender here and is now starting to really open up the gap again. Still a tight contest for third place between first and City of Glasgow B. So that one has got lots in it still. But Warrender going into the final 200, 6:43.
Yeah, Warrender fastest entry into this 9:01.80. The City of Glasgow team were 7 seconds back, and Heart of Midlothian, their entry time, they're not going to match that because they came in as second fastest, but you just don't know whether or not there's swimmers with COVID or other illnesses or reasons why they can't swim. It has put Warrender Bath Club in a very favourable position here with Ashley Drake on the final leg. And the lead that was opened up by her predecessor, Phoebe Arbuckle, she's maintaining that over in second place. The team from City of Glasgow, Louise Connell in the water for them. And actually the swimmer, you can see that City of Glasgow swim team B, Talia Blackley, putting in a good shift there, and she's moved ahead of the team from first. City of Glasgow looking fairly comfortably in second and third at the moment. Talia Blackley working really hard down here, just moving in towards the turn with just 100 metres to go. Warrender Bath, though, looked to have sewn this one up, provided all those takeovers were safe. Ashley Drake in the water for them, and her lead about 10 metres or so.
So these top three teams quite a bit faster than the first heat. So this is where the medals are going to come from, and certainly it looks pretty much locked on. You see the Warrender support crew there on the side of the pool, urging on their swimmer Ashley Drake to get the job done. She is coming to her final turn, 34.36. I was thinking she may be looking a little weary. She's only went off very fast at the beginning of her race, but she's a second faster than Louise Connell in the anchor for City of Glasgow A, so there's no doubt Warren are going to take this comfortably. Yep, hands up if you think you're a winner, Warrender. And they'll be enjoying this moment. Of course, second in the team competition behind City of Glasgow. They won't particularly be liking that, but Warrender, who have won it so many times, will taking this relay win in 8:57.82. City of Glasgow taking second place. Good swim from them, and they get third place as well.
Yeah, very good. So in the points for the team championships, only the fastest team scores points there, but the 14 to 16 relays do score, and they score double points as well, so Warren de Bass will be delighted with that. Under 9 minutes, super fast time there. They have won all of the relays in that age group for the girls.
So yes, good stuff from Warrender there. Good, solid, strong quartet. Kiana Kurtzer, Alex Coy, Phoebe Buckle, Ashley Drake. Certainly Kiana got them off to an excellent start. Phoebe Buckle really strong on the third leg after Alex Coy had held off a very fast Heidi Wren in the second leg. And then Ashley Drake getting the job done for them on the anchor, and a comfortable win in the end. So well done to Warrender, and well done to the two City of Glasgow teams, and Talia Blackley on a very good anchor for their B team to get them the bronze medal. So we're done with swimming. We've got a few presentations to do before we go off air. But it's been a good morning.
It's been a shorter morning than all of the other mornings as well. It's only 12:15.
It must be just the great company that we've got that makes it seem short.
No, it's the super fast swimming. That's what it is.
Oh, right, that's what it is. Yes, okay.
No, that was good. Really good session, actually. Enjoyed that. The 800 freestyle, very exciting. The relays at the end. I do love a good relay.
Yep, and some good 200 IMs to get us started. So, yep, some excellent stuff. The 200 freestyle from the girls. As I say, I don't think I've ever seen a 200 freestyle followed by a 4x2 relay, but that will be a new experience for these swimmers, I would imagine.
Well, I don't think that we've changed the order about Duncan, so I think this must have taken place in previous years.
Maybe we need to check that.
Yeah, well, now we've noticed it. We need to look at that. But we do have some presentations coming up. I'm not sure who's going to deliver the presentations. I'm sure between us we all know who that is.
You see the medals there, and we've got the medalists all look like they're ready to go.
Oh, well, I can see Alison Lowe sitting there. Past president of the Scottish Amateur Swimming Association and life member. I wonder if it's Alison.
And here they come. Is Alison standing up to come through to make the presentation? Don't see her doing it.
Oh, maybe she's just having a rest then. Let's wait and see.
Oh, it's another former president of the Scottish Amateur Swimming Association. It's Gina Lowe, who's coaching with Cooper this week.
Okay, so our bronze medal winner in the 15-year age group is from Geary, James Boddy. And in the 16-year age group, representing East Lothian, Callum Peebles. Our 17, 18-year-old bronze medalist from City of Glasgow, Angus Johnston. So our silver medal winners in the 15-year age group, Callum Gold from Aberdeen Dolphins, 16-year age group, silver medalist again from South Lanarkshire, Scott Fleming, and the silver medal winner in the 17, 18-year age group, Aberdeen Performance, is John Taylor. So our gold medalists and our national age group champions, 15-year age group champion from City of Glasgow, Kai Connolly. In the 16-year age group, representing East Lothian, Luke Hornsey, and in the 17-18-year age group, representing City of Glasgow, it's Andrew Catoli.
Kai pretty keen to get onto that podium there, wasn't he? He was up like lightning there, and he's looking very happy to be on that top spot.
Yeah, not his first time though at this meet. So already the champion in the 1500 free.
Well done, Kai. So there are our medal-winning relay teams. Looks this is the 17 and overs. Looks like they're all there. Red, blue, and black.
And Alison Lowe walking through there now with the medalists. We're going to our bronze medal winning team in the 17 and over 4x200 metres freestyle relay. The bronze medalists are the team from East Lothian. Abby Davis, Iona Wilson, India Marshall, and Louise Stoddart, our bronze medal winning team from East Lothian. So silver medal winners up next. So up to on the podium there, that's the team from Warren de Bath. And the silver medalists are Anna Green, Danrada McGregor, Natasha Simpson, and Olivia Mason. A good race there in that 4x2 for the 17 and over girls. Warrender with a clean sweep. Those relays. That's the 14 to 16s, wasn't it? It was Aberdeen Performance that had won the two 4x100s. Anyway, our Scottish national champions is the team from City of Glasgow, receiving their medals now as the Scottish national age group champions. That's Katie Shanahan, Drew McKenzie, Hannah Edmiston, and Jory Horn. Jory had a great last leg there, didn't she, in that one?
Yes, she did indeed. And a nice birthday gold medal there for Hannah Edmiston.
And a photo to boot.
Yep.
I wonder if that was a coaching decision.
A nice one if it was, and it paid off for the gold medal.
I think if it was a coach, Danielle Brayson, making the decision, I suspect that she just put the fastest team in. So photo time for those ladies. Next up we'll have the girls 14 to 16 years medalists up to the podium, and that was won by the Warren de Bath team, wasn't it? That was an interesting race.
Yeah, it got tight in the third leg, but then less so after that.
Yeah, storming leg put in there from Phoebe Arbuckle and then Ashley Drake bringing it home. Really good race. So this is our final presentation of the morning. Alison Lowe making the presentations again for both sets of relay medals, and it's the City of Glasgow B team. They are the bronze medal winners, Safrina Machin, Victoria Niven, Coco Croxford, and Talia Blackley, bronze medalists for the City of Glasgow B team. Coco getting her medal last there. Silver medal winners, and looking delighted about it, the team from City of Glasgow, and that's the A team. And the medalists in the team, Stella McCarty, Heidi Wren, Freya Beaton, and Louise Connell.
Oh, nearly a full start there.
Wait for it, wait for it. And so the gold medalists and the Scottish national age group champions in the 14 to 16 years 4x200 freestyle relay. That's Warren de Bath Club. And their A team is Kiana Kurtzer, Alex Coy, Phoebe Arbuckle, and Ashley Drake. coming in under 9 minutes. Really good time there, putting them in with a good shout of going through to the finals and British Summer Championships.
Yeah, let's hope so. That their time will stand up well against what happens south of the border, and all the relay teams that go down in the summer. We wish them all the best. So we are done, Lynn.
Thank you very much, Duncan. That was good fun. I'm looking forward to our last 2 sessions. It's drawing into a close, isn't it? It's Sunday already. Actually, I mean, it feels like we've been here for weeks, but now we're on our final leg, so to speak.
Back at 1:35 for racing starting shortly after that, so we'll see you then. But for now, it's a good morning from Tollcross.